Rooms filled with real gold cherubs are nothing. Those rooms aren't also filled with echoes.
Yo, what's up? Hello, everybody. Welcome to DJ Cliche Darkness Show with your host, DJ Cliche Darkness. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today, the Nintendo Direct thing for Mario Kart happened, and I would like to take a look at that. So we can take a look at that, and then we're gonna do whatever. I don't know. I don't know, and it's irrelevant. But something just occurred to me. I kind of forgot to fix up some stuff. Hold up. I gotta set up the camera thing so that y'all can see the correct thing or whatever. Oh, actually, I guess it don't matter. I forgot, because then I could just do it. I'll just put it in the full cam, and we'll be good. I mean, not the full cam, but the display. I forgot. Normally, most of the time, I you know, like you could set up a scene or whatever. You guys, it's okay. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Hold on, let's see. See, there it goes. Oh, there's a little bit too much of me right now. Let's bring that back a little bit. I'll bring the other thing back a little bit too. There we go. There we go. It works. All right, let's watch this thing together. Now, I'm not like the biggest Mario Kart fan. So like originally a long time ago, I used to what was it? You know, when the first Mario Kart came out on Super Nintendo a billion years ago, it was one of the funnest things for all of my friends. You know what I mean? And we played the absolute fuck out of Mario Kart. Do you like this big red sheet from the thing? I can reduce that a little. You know, it was like the most unbelievable thing that had come out in the world of video gaming at that period of time, and we played the absolute shit out of it, totally non-stop, beat everything there was to beat, raced all our friends for a billion hours. Like that would become our thing. Like all of my memories of being at my friend Danny's house, playing the shit out of that with handfuls of friends, they're pretty vivid. You know, despite a lot of the other stuff that's mixed up. What's up, Dino? Pretty vivid. You know, it was really great, but I played it so goddamn much that I was sick of it. And that's pretty impressive to do to me. I just got completely sick of Mario Kart. I don't know how. I got sick of Mario Kart and then still kept playing the shit out of it. So as time went on and more other Mario Karts started coming out, I started to ignore them. I barely played any Mario Karts ever. The thing that's even crazier though is that I still ended up buying some of them. Well, you want to know what? I think I didn't buy another Mario Kart until the one on the DS came out, and that was pretty cool. And I played that small things. Anger should be tested. Yeah, I feel you. I was playing a small thing, you know, having some fun. Why there's a judge just for Mario Kart? Because they want to sell it as an $80 game, I guess. But from what I've seen, like people are still not really feeling $80. But you get to pay $50 if you buy the bundle, and that's the price before tariffs, maybe. So who knows how the fuck that's gonna go? Anyway, look, I'm gonna warn y'all too. I'm not the whole $50. I haven't been in the best headspace for a while, and today is definitely like we're coming to a head. We're coming to a peak at that as well. So if I seem a little bit off, that's why or whatever. But yeah, I played the shit out of it. I didn't fuck with it, whatever. At some point, my friend Jaku got a ton of people together because he was like, okay, it looks like Mario Kart Double Dash actually supports up to 16 players. How are you gonna get 16 players? You know, there's a multitude of ways to do that, but he essentially made what would like be an event. We were all scrambling to get together as many, and this is back when CRT TVs were still the thing. We worked real hard to get as many CRT TVs together as we possibly could, and we got the requisite amount of GameCubes. Matter of fact, I think he owned 16 GameCubes. I'm pretty sure he still owns more than 16 GameCubes. So we got 16 TVs. We got 16 GameCubes. We got the amount of controllers that we needed. What is it, 32? 32 controllers. Maybe more, whatever. I kind of don't remember. And we put them all in this huge room in this place. I think it was Pumping Station 1. It's a little hard to remember a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure it's a place known here in Chicago as like a creator space and a hacker space. And we played the shit out of it then too. And that was cool. You know, and that was cool. That was fine. But that was like the third Mario Kart game that I ever really touched. And then Mario Kart 8 came out, or whichever one, I believe it still was 8, came out on the Wii. Was it the Wii or the Wii U? Look, I kind of don't even remember a lot of places or whatever. Yeah, big nerdy places or whatever. Yeah. I kind of don't remember a lot of those things because, like I said, I'm not the biggest Mario Kart fan. Mario Kart 8 came out and I still continuously bought it even though I've played it this much. I generally have only got it. I own it on the Switch. I think my copy of Mario Kart 8 that I had is actually still at Jocko's house. They tank properties. Did nerds. Mario Kart is pretty wild and well now. And this one does look super cool with the open worldiness of stuff that they're going to be, you know, put into that or whatever. And they're really putting all into there. Because, not sure how many of you know this, since, we'll just stick with the Nintendo Switch version specifically. Literal smell stink, it's true. We'll just stick with the Switch version. And that has been in the top 10 sales charts ever since it came out, I believe. And you can check me on this. I'm not going to be far off when I say this. Y'all can fact check me. But Mario Kart 8 has been in the top 10, I think, for all but one fucking month. Give me your sword. Oh, get chopped. 1 month. It's been in the top 10. And that 1 month when it wasn't, we were all like, whoa, where'd it go? What happened? Because it had always been there. It's pretty wild. Mario Kart obviously is important to a lot of people. Plus, they get an entire direct dedicated to the new one that's coming out. And I have a feeling, despite everything that's going on with stuff, what just happened? They're just playing around. Despite all the stuff that came out for Mario Kart, or no, all the stuff having to do with the prices, having to do with the tariffs, having to do with everything that's going to involve the prices for this, the Switch 2 is going to sell like crazy, and Mario Kart's going to be out there like crazy, and that's probably going to be, like, it's probably going to be in the top 10 charts non-stop once again. I'm sure of it. And you know what? I bet the previous one probably also still going to be the top 10 charts. Maybe not, but who the fuck knows? But it's pretty wild, right? So let's go ahead. Hold on. We're gonna kill this thing. I'm sorry, music, that I murdered you. And let's go ahead and start watching this thing, huh? Clap! Now, a lot of people are talking shit about, like, oh, you know, just modern day and this game doesn't even look as good as it should or whatever, but I don't... Games don't need to look good. I'm being impressed.
Drivers,
being pick-pressed.
Your engines.
Start your
Welcome to the
engine.
Mario Kart World game. Available exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. What
Was
kind
that-
of races await you?
That was a big banana.
In Mario Kart World, you'll aim for first place in each Grand Prix. But why stop there? Across cities,
Grindy
plains,
Fees cool. Cow is the best.
a
Are you kidding?
desert,
Cow is the
and
best.
even the ocean.
Look at her
You can
adorable
drive
outfit.
Virtually everywhere in this fully interconnected world. Races are held on courses scattered
yes.
throughout various regions that
Yo,
span this
opening.
world, and you can freely drive between them.
Wild.
There's a lot in store, and we're only at the starting line. Let's introduce some of the courses that are waiting for you.
Yes.
Here
Show
we
us the
go.
thing. Did they double dash for a second? Rainbow
Courses
Road
are
only.
found throughout the world, inspired by their surrounding region.
Who knows, man?
Let's take a look at
Who
some
knows
of the
where
new
I'll be in
courses
like
to
a month.
explore. Ride the ridges and roads on Mario Brothers Circuit
Oh, you see, they little flippy.
and cruise the curves around the canyon.
So
You
that's
can't
another
miss
thing.
it.
Rumors are saying that April 21st,
See the sights and structures of Crown City.
around April 21st, is when the pre-orders are gonna go
You can even
live.
soar in style down Main Street.
I have very negative
Drift
money,
along
so
the
I'm
rapid
just kind of
waterways
bummed.
of Salty Speedway and make a splash around the city's canals.
Like,
Stay cool in the snowy trails of Starview Peak.
that looks super cool.
Just don't slip off while soaking up the scenery.
You can be one of the penguins?
Spirited showing at the
Hold on. You can be the penguin. Is that the penguin that everybody throws off the cliff when you first get to the ice place in Mario 64? You can be that penguin. People would be like, no, it's the penguin from the movie. No, it's the baby that Mario threw off the cliff. Like, hey, Hachi. And he came up like fucking Kazuya Mishima. And he's ready to fucking roll.
ghostly movie
He's ready to
theater
get out
Blue
there and
Cinema.
do it. Oh my God. Is
It's
that
a whole new kind
Vampire
of drive-in theater.
Waluigi? Are you kidding? I don't even care about the courses.
And in addition to lots of new courses, there's Toad's Factory.
Ah, wait, is that where toads
Peach
are made?
Beach, Wario Shipyard,
19th.
and more. Nostalgic courses from
Yeah, let me
past
see
titles
Zelda.
are also here. But now they're reimagined and spread throughout the world.
So this
where
feels
races
kind
can
of like
happen
a
during
little
the day
Burnout
or
Paradise-y,
at night.
right? And I love that junk. Hand it over. Penguin or Boo? Absolutely. Boo? Are you kidding?
Race as familiar characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser,
Well, Bowser, you have
and Yoshi.
Wahoo!
Plus new drivers like Goomba,
Boomba, oh my God.
Spike,
No way.
and that's right, Cow.
Cow!
Even more new racers are waiting and ready to
Zakitu?
roll. Select your
Look at
character,
those little BBs.
choose your vehicle, then you're
Holy
off
cow,
to
can
the
you ban him again?
races.
No, I'm just kidding. Don't. No, I'm just kidding.
Characters and vehicles each have
And be
different
like,
stats.
"You see that joke?"
So make sure to find the combo that best suits you.
It was a funny joke. I thought it was funny. Each looks
There are
mega
two main
adorable.
styles of race
Is he
revving
wearing
up
a
in this
sombrero?
world.
Waluigi
Grand
wearing a
Prix
sombrero?
and Knockout Tour. In both modes, up to 24 drivers can participate. The most in series history.
Did it say 124?
4
Jeez.
drivers can participate. In both modes, up to 24
Oh,
drivers
just
can
24.
participate.
I was about to say.
The most in series history.
I was about to say
Your rivals aren't
Nintendo
the
stuff was
only
gonna set
hazards
on
you'll
fire.
need to avoid on the road. Look out for cars that shoot bullet bills, attacks from Hammer Brothers, and other obstacles along the way. Try to steer clear.
Grand Prix!
And now, get
Grand
ready for
Prix
Grand
Ekusu.
Prix with Mushroom Cup, Flower Cup, Star Cup, and more. Grand Prix races are held
It does
all
look like a
around
ton
the
of
game's
fun.
world.
I
You'll
would
race
say that
through
I'm more
4
excited
different
for this
courses in
Mario
each
Kart than
cup
I've
and
ever
aim
been
for the
since the
top
first
spot.
one.
In Mushroom Cup, you'll start off racing around Mario Brothers Circuit,
I do it.
while the second race will take you from Mario Brothers Circuit to Crown City. For the first time, you'll need to drive yourself to the next course in Grand Prix. So don't sleep
I
at the
love
wheel.
Paulina so much. She's from original Donkey Kong.
And if you conquer all Grand Prix Cups, rumor has it that a certain colorful course will appear.
Maybe a rainbow road?
Next up is a new mode, Knockout Tour.
That's cool, Zip.
From Golden Rally to Ice Rally and more. These extended races take you from one end of the world to the other.
Meow.
Get ready for
That
a
seems like it's
sprint.
going to be a ton. I'm
But
very excited for this mode.
You've got to place if you want to stay in the race. Speed towards checkpoints throughout the world. If you don't make the cut, you're out of the running. Buckle up. The competition gets more intense as you close in on the checkpoints. You've got to drive to survive in Knockout Tour. So keep your eyes on the prize and aim for first place.
Clown.
Items
you can
can
bullet bill thing?
drastically
No.
change the outcome of a race. Here are some new items that'll help you out. Coin shell. When you throw a coin shell, coins will appear. Now's your
Cool.
chance to grab them. Just don't let your rivals cash in first.
You did that on purpose.
Ice flower. With the ice flower, you can freeze out rivals and send them spinning.
Silly.
Hammer. Aim the hammer in an arc.
That
and
excites
nailed
me.
it. Hammers also stay on the course for a short time and can be
Was
used
that
to
long neck?
block
Is that an
off
ostrich?
rivals. Mega mushroom. With
Mega
the mega
mushroom.
go big, so your rivals will go home. Feather. Use the feather to jump up and avoid attacks.
Will that help you avoid the
may
blue
even
shell?
discover some unexpected routes. Comic. With Comic's magic, your rivals will
I love
transform.
Wipeout.
What other mysterious effects will happen? You'll have
So
to see
many
for
chucks.
yourself. The lower your placement, the more likely you are to find items that'll turn the tables. So when you get items, go for it.
What's up, Sir Rolando?
And if you're new to the Mario Kart series, there are
No,
added
these are
support
the
features to
topics.
help you along the way.
And what could that be?
These include
Again?
smart
Is
steering,
the
which
same
helps you
one?
stay on the course. Tilt controls.
Oh, on the other foot.
You can
Ah,
hold the
that makes
Joy-Con
sense.
2 controller horizontally and use motion controls to steer. And if you have the Joy-Con 2 wheel, you can feel like you're really driving.
No, man, I want to use my Logitech thing. Well, look at this
Ooh.
boy.
How about a quick break?
Well, I was
A
about to
snack
say
sounds
he's
good
obeying
right
the
about
law.
now. Hey, look, it's a drive-through.
Let's get some yummy Yoshis.
Here at Yoshi's, you can grab an order to go. Dash food.
Thank you, Yoshi.
Take
Whoa.
a bite, and you can unlock outfits inspired by your meal.
Cute. His food
Eat
outfit.
some sushi and... Whoa, nice threads.
Such a cutie.
Once
at that
unlocked, these outfits can be selected from the character selection screen.
It does look super good. But that just
Who
might be
knows what
kind of me being
dishes
hungry.
or outfits you'll find.
Oh
Make
my
a pit
god!
stop and check out these drive-thrus all around the world.
I think this is my favorite feature.
That was a nice detour. Now let's get back to the
Look at
action.
how adorable. You eat the pizza and he becomes an Italiano? He's already an Italiano!
Let's introduce some new tricks that'll help you ace each race.
No. Okay.
Charge jump. You can now use a charge jump by holding the drift button while driving straight ahead. Charge and release to jump. Use this to leap over obstacles.
Ooh.
Grind along power lines. And dodge attacks from your
Trying to
rivals.
get out of the bounce. Oh, yeah.
And if you jump
Whoa,
toward a
Dragon
wall,
Ball Fusion
you can wall
World?
ride for a
Okay.
short period of time.
Whoa.
Chain some tricks together, and you may even reach places like this. Ah, so close.
Oh, darn. Gosh darn it, I
Whenever
missed
this
it.
happens, be kind and rewind. This will return your vehicle to its original position. Nice, made it.
Yeah, why not?
This can come in handy when mapping out how to best approach a course.
Probably not getting a Switch 2, yeah.
Keep in mind, though, your rivals will still move normally when you rewind, so don't lose your lead.
Wait, can you do this actually in... Could you do that while live?
Want to take a spin?
You can't do
Even
that
more
online.
races?
That would be
In
wild.
time trials, it's you against the clock. Here, you can race without any other competitors.
That sweet Famicom hat, what up?
And if you go online, you can download and compete against ghost data from racers around the world.
Should it cost similar to PS5? Almost. PS5 prices just keep going up, though. That's pretty whack.
Customize the rules of the road in Versus Race.
Be kind,
You can use
rewind.
the classic rule set of running 3 laps
Oh,
within
dear.
the same course. Or You can choose to
Moo
drive
Moo
the distance
Meadows!
from one course to another.
Like, I want everything to do with that cow.
You can even take the road less
Oh, yeah.
traveled and
You
choose
get a cow
routes that
mane right
aren't
here,
in
bro.
Grand Prix or Knockout Tour.
The bunny's cool too. I love that bunny.
Up to 24 drivers can now compete in 2, 3, or even 4 teams. Group up and get ready to put the pedal to the metal.
Sting bee, you can be a little bee. I'm just a little bee. Yeah, the rabbits in the game because there was that one
Next
Mario
up, battle
Luigi,
mode.
that Mario
Pop up
Rabbit
locally
game. You know
or
what I mean?
online in balloon battle. Use items to burst your rivals' balloons. Pop
Oh,
them
balloon
all and
battle
your
is
rivals
fun.
Out. And coin runners, where you can go for the gold
Look
by
at that
collecting
young
the
guy.
most coins.
Look at that.
Race or battle, enjoy whatever drives
That's
you.
correct. Is like 15 minutes. Oh, you dead. Rewind, bro. Oh man, he went out like a homie. He was like, peace. He was
When you're
done.
not racing, you can enjoy free roam and go wherever your heart takes you. No roads? No problem.
Where we're going, we don't need
Ride the
roads.
rivers.
I wonder how many streamers
See
made that
the
joke.
seas.
Probably all of them.
Drive the desert.
Except the younger ones who have never heard of Back to the Future.
Or jump off from way up here.
Penguin!
You can go wherever you like, even to the edges of the world.
Look at that cute little bow. Her tiny
There's a
footsies.
P-switch over there.
Collect the blue coins. Oh, we gotta
Hit
get good.
hundreds of P-switches you find across the world to start missions. By completing them, you can hone your driving ability outside of races.
It
There
does
are
look
also
fun.
hidden coins
The OCD gamers are crazy.
hidden panels,
Fit.
and more. So take the scenic route and explore.
Zip looks up OCD
Also,
gamer
during free
in the
roam,
dictionary
you can take photos
and finds
whenever
the
you
picture
like.
of him.
Strike a pose. Look at the camera. Choose a frame to decorate and nice. That one's a winner.
Here we go.
If one person has Mario Kart World, up to
May or may
4
not have
players
min-maxed
can
my
race
drug
in
empire to
split
oblivion.
screen on the same system.
I still ain't played that. Pardon me.
The game also supports local wireless
The
play.
dolphin riding a
Up to
dolphin.
8 players, with up to 2 players on each system, can race together this way.
Holy. Look at that big old birdie. That's impressive. Now Double Dash
And
gonna be
up to
easier than ever. The
24
cons,
players
bro.
from around the world can join a race or battle in online play. This may look like free roam, but this is where you'll wait while your friends join you.
Your mom is free roam.
Looks
I
like
don't know what I
someone's
meant by
arrived.
that.
Yep, you can meet up with your crew anywhere in this world. By checking the map, you can quickly see where your friends
¿Dónde
are
está
and
Sara?
travel to their location.
Aquí.
Battle or race with custom rules. Or just go for a ride together.
It's a
Make
big
this
boy.
road trip your own.
I'm the customer facing
You
even in
can
games.
also take photos together along the way, if that's more your speed.
Get done.
With Game Chat, enjoy an expanded experience by talking online
we
with
have
friends. Use the
Discord.
built-in microphone to voice chat while driving together.
But that's okay. This will be easier.
Let's go.
Yes, let's go. I'm a normal person. I play video games just like other normal people
Or
people
take a back
do.
seat and watch each other's game screens.
That is so cool. What is that?
If you have a Nintendo Switch 2 camera,
No, dude.
you can enjoy seeing your friends' reactions while playing together.
Long time ago, Burnout Paradise came out, right? And it was on PlayStation 3, and they had the PlayStation 3i, and that was super cool. Right? I mean, people were like, "Oh, well, cool shit we can do with this PlayStation Eye, right? So in Burnout Paradise, there's like a multiplayer thing, and then when you smash into each other, whoever like won the like if you crash into somebody else, that was like you scoring a point, kind of. And then the person you hit, if they had a PlayStation 3 Eye, it would take a picture of you, kind of like and send it immediately to the person who crashed into you, so that you could see the reaction or something like that, right? And it was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I used to have a lot of fun. I used to be like, oh no, I used to like pretend I was getting into a crash, right, or whatever. And then I was like, gee willikers, that's fun. And then one time, I crashed into somebody else, and then I saw titties. And while that's cool, I feel like, well, I mean, they have child protection, right? Realistic frame. They have, they have the child protection thing or whatever. But what I'm trying to say, though, the PlayStation Eye, yeah, the PlayStation Eye, the PS3's PSI, I still have it. It was actually the first webcam that I ever used when I first ever started streaming. I downloaded a driver so that I could use it on the PC and things, whatever. They did go hard, though. You're correct. That's the first PSI. PS3 Eye is a different one. But yeah, what I'm saying, and what I'm really saying is, though, whatever, though it's nice. I mean, I like titties. But first of all, you don't know who titties you're looking at. That's dangerous. Second of all, that's not streamer friendly. So, maybe you want to know? Maybe I'll make a quick YouTube video about being like, here, like, be like, be careful. Yeah, nor is it child friendly. Nintendo don't care about that anymore. The Witcher 3 is on the Nintendo Switch. We're done. They're not gonna make it. But the fact of the matter is that if you are a streamer and you're like, let's have fun cam time, you gotta vet your homies, right? You gotta make sure that your homies are there. Anybody can end you. Anybody can get your stream banned by just flashing some titties and So like, just a little PSA about that. Maybe I'll make a dumb YouTube video where I'm like, hey guys, careful for random nudity when playing with cameras with randos. Okay.
Who's close by?
Oh, she's Penny. That's cute.
Wait, who just passed me? You'll be able to tell in an instant. Hey, Michelle.
I'm sure that they'll probably have
Bullseye.
something in there to where they'll be like, turn off cameras for randos and shit.
And when
Michelle
playing together
sometimes
in
she likes
person
to
on
live
the same
dangerously.
system, a single camera can detect up to 4 people's faces.
Wow.
Enjoy the view and get ready to face off with your friends.
Oh, that's super cool. Whee!
A transcontinental race around the world is just around the corner in Mario Kart World, available exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. A hardware bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World will also be available.
Limited time production through fall 2025. Available while supplies last. Fuck! I'm not gonna get that! I'm too po! Hey, I'm gonna need all y'all's money, please. So I could afford this and rent. Thank you. Oh, that was it. That was it. No, like digital. I love digital. Digital is my friend. I will do digital and people be like, but when you do digital, you don't own it, man. We're kind of fucked at that point. It's all ogre. Music on! Thank you, cough cough. Joke's on you, I'm pretty broke. Hey. Deku, I thought you said that you was making that money so that you could take care of me. Didn't you say that? Can I hear that? Rewind the tape. Somebody rewind the tape. Where's that money, Deku? Is that money in your pocket? Is that in your wallet? Yeah, exactly. I just want to take care of you, puppy. That's why I have a job. That's exactly what it sounded. That's exactly what happened. I used the tape recorder in my... Blame the orange man. Definitely. Definitely. That elephant is so big, it's kind of hard not to talk about sometimes, right? Because it's just getting fucked up. And we blame you, Texas! I mean, not Deco personally, but Deco. No, we do blame Deco. But not Deku, because we love Deku. Imagine an elephant being big. Like really, really big. So I don't know, that looks like a lot of fun. It's something that I would like to consume. It's making it hard to be single income household, yeah. Look. Let's all move to Belgium and then make a streamer house. How about that? I feel like that is a good solution for all of us. Every last one of us. See? They don't have good Mexican food? That's why. Hold on. That's why. I'm glad you brought that up, cough cough. I'm glad you brought that up. You want to know what's funny is that there was a Mexican joint around where I was at there or whatever, and I wanted to eat there, but I didn't. But there was a Mexican joint, and I was like, oh, really? You know? And I was like, sweetie, we need to go eat. We need to go eat at that place. But we ended up not being able to do it. But look. They don't have good Mexican food until we get there. You see what I mean? You understand what I mean? Until we get there. Not only will we have a streamer house, but we'll get a nice side hustle where we open up an authentic Mexican restaurant in Belgium. Huh? We will be rich. Okay? Oh, you're eating. She eating it all up. She eating it all up. Gladly sell my debt for 25 euro. If anybody could have it. That's funny. Streamer house sounds like a nightmare. It probably is like a little bit. I just know you could. I love cats. I feel like Roland's gonna bring a cat with him if he moves. I'm all right with that. Bring all the cats. It will be a streamer house cat sanctuary Mexican food restaurant. We will make money hand over fist by selling authentic Mexican food recipes. You know what's funny though? Is my Mexican food be like Tex-Mex? Do you got any taco recipes, cough cough? Deku, y'all got any family recipes? I'm sure you gotta. No Tex-Mex, please? Look, I can't help it. That's the bigger part of my heritage. All my family's from Texas. My dad made the Mexican foods. No, come on. No. Look, I can't help it. I can't help it. Our shit became Tex-Mex. But we can fix a little bit of it, okay? Whatever, but like Tex-Mex is important, all right? That's like kind of like saying that you ain't gonna like regular Chinese food, right? It would be like, it's just American Chinese food. It would be like, yeah, but the Chinese made that American Chinese food in America, in California. So like the Tex-Mex, all the Mexicans coming up into Texas and then they're cooking all that food there or whatever. Oh, they're all Salvadorian? I mean, that's all right too. We can add that stuff up on there. Easy. I like Doritos. That's very good. Fun fact, Doritos is an ingredient that my mom uses in our taco salad. And everybody fucking loves it. Everybody loves it. My mom's taco salad is crazy. It's okay. It's okay. I'll give you head pats and make it better, cough cough. You two using a taco salad, the blue ones? I'm gonna spoil two things about my mom's taco salad. What I'm not gonna spoil is the actual meat recipe, right? I'm not gonna spoil the meat recipe, but what I will spoil are the two very important things in mom's taco salad. Yeah, just seriously surprised. Yeah. I just wasn't aware that people actually made taco salads. Yeah, my mom, so here are the two things. There's this type of dressing, and it's called green goddess dressing. I don't even remember what's it made of. Hold up, let me do a little Google. Green goddess dressing. Let's see, yogurt, parsley, mixed herb, chives, lemon juice, zest, olive oil, capers, crazy, garlic, salt, and pepper is green goddess dressing, all right? Oh, he knows it. Avocado, what? No, don't be, avocados are, well, like, I have these, whatever. Gotta clean up my kitchen to make it, do it. All right, so like, you gotta forget the avocado. Ban them. I mean, I'm just telling you. So there's this dressing called Green Goddess dressing. There's a recipe for it that you can make it yourself out of those things or whatever, but we just buy it in a bottle, right? So you take the taco meat, and then of course you chop up like, I mean, I don't do it because I don't like veggie tables, but you know, chop up the lettuce and the tomato and the onions and you know the vegetables normally that you should throw on a taco. If as Tex-Mex would throw on a taco, people throw on a taco. Put that in there with the meat, and then you add crushed up Doritos. You open the bag of Doritos and you crush that shit up and put that in there. So you add it with the meat, and then you put in the Green Goddess dressing and you smoosh it all together. That stuff was always the #1 thing that was consumed immediately and loved the most at every event that we have ever had. For a thing, I used to be in choir when I was in high school, and we had all these concerts all the time or whatever. And my mom would always bring taco salad, and it is now a legend to many people, like a myth of sorts. It is spoken of in hushed tones in temples all across the world. Mince, refried beans, lettuce, sour cream, guacamole, blue Doritos, cheese, Mexican rice, smushed. Fuck, I'm hungry. We'll fix that later. Maybe today we'll get some tacos. You want to know what? Get some Chipotle. I mean, I actually do kind of really want Chipotle, maybe. But that's all right. But yeah, that's what I spoiled with those things, whatever. But anyway, I digress. Let's step back for a second and go back to talking about living in Belgium in a streamer house full of cats and I don't know, maybe some bunnies too. Bunnies are super cute, and maybe some bats. I love bats. They're like flying mice. They're like literally flying mice. And matter of fact, the word for bat in German is like literally flying mouse, right? Back me up on this, Roland. I know that you know now. Where the fuck was I? I have no idea. No, it is. It is. Fledermaus, something like that. Fledermaus, I think it's called. Fledermaus. Hold up. Where's my phone? Hey Google, how do you say bat in German? Schlager? Oh, that's in Dutch. That's not German. Why the fuck you say that? Google, fuck off. Shut up. It's still trying to talk to me. There's a new Mina post. I would love you to show it some love. All right, let me click on this thing. Let me see what we got here. Where's our girl Mina? I'm gonna scroll down, and if I don't find it, that's funny. Oh, was it the brand new one? Do you mind if I show everybody? Yeah, Fledermaus, yeah. So that's one of the reasons why in the Tick, they had a bat superhero character named Fledermaus, and it's because Fledermaus is the word in German that is spoken. So looks like she found her next target. Oh, I remember you showed me this picture. It's such a good picture too. Right here. Hold up. I barely know how to do my stream anymore. Look at this. Look at this good girl Mina right here. And Deck was like, looks like she found her next target. She's just waiting. She's like, oh, look at that schoolboy over there. Perhaps they can teach me a thing or two. Isn't this amazing? Look how gorgeous they are. Time to like and retweet that post. Done. I'm done. No. Moi. You are most welcome. So yeah, that Mario Kart looked pretty cool. We go live in Belgium and sell Mexican food. Wait, Coffin never answered my question. Deku's got Salvadorian food. Cough. kind of recipes you got? You got some authentic Mexican recipes in your family? Hmm? You got some authentic Asian recipes in your family? Hmm? Hmm? You kidding? No. I got both. Oh, fuck yeah. Shit. All right. So then that makes it even better. The restaurant we're gonna have is gonna be unbelievable. We're gonna be the richest people in Belgium. We're gonna be the Fort Knox of Belgium. Except it is our money. Asian Mex fusion! Fusion! Ha! It'll be great. I'm telling you. We'll make a mint. Nom nom nom. Yeah, we'll eat that up. Nom nom. We'll call it the Sex Mex Fusion. Tacos de caca. That's what we call it. Nobody will know. They'll be like, wow, it's so authentic. Nobody will know. Not a single Belgian person will suspect. I don't remember what the Mexican restaurant was called where I was out there. I should look it up. I could probably look it up. Have I heard of this new Oz place? No. What is it? Tacos de caca? Yeah, you're just saying this. Yeah, this new authentic Mexican. It's called Tacos de Caca. Oh, we gotta go. You want? Hold on. I can look. I remember exactly where I was at. I'd go there. Yeah, hold up. Let me see. Joop, Belgium. There was a hotel called Joop in Hasselt. We're gonna. I want to bring up. Yeah, I can't bring it up. I can't. I have to be very careful with what I show you guys, because you know it's on my webpage. But hold up. I'll see. Right, we're gonna go into maps. Maps. Joop, Belgium. The Joop Hotel in Hasselt. I'm probably saying it wrong. Somebody's gonna make fun of me, and that's cool. No information is available on this page. Joop, joop, joop. Joop, joop, joop. Donde esta? Where am I? Wait, none of these things are working. All right, hold on. I gotta type it in. Joop, Belgium. Boop. There we go. All right, let's try this. This is gonna be slightly dangerous. Hold on. I'm looking for anything that's incriminating. Anything incriminating. All right, it looks like it's probably cool. All right, so this. I'm sorry for the flashbang. If all of your screens just got real bright real quick. Sorry for the flashbang, but here is Joop, the Joop Hotel, and the reason why I almost want to show some pictures of it. It's kind of a really tiny place. It's pretty cool. Let's look here. All right, we have the open place. Let's see if we can find the thing. Okay, actually, so all right, I'm gonna tell y'all real disgusting story. All right, because this is where when Emily and I first got together. Oh, I don't know what this fucking room is. This room does not look like a room that was in Joop. This, however, looks like the room that was in Joop. But it seems kind of backwards. Okay, check this out. Okay. You see this bathroom? When Emily and I first got together, I'm gonna try and see if I can find another one. First of all, also, this is what the fucking place looks like, and this was the biggest reason why I decided to rent it out. Other than the fact that it was extremely cheap. It was a very, very, very cheap hotel, which I thought was cool, but I was like, this is a goth hotel, and that's awesome, right? No, and I should probably change. Hold up, let's see if this works. Hold up. Let's say Joop. It doesn't say yup, it says Joop. Hold on, nobody type for like 2 seconds. That building is sick, isn't it? Isn't it amazing, Ozzy? This is like one of the bigger reasons why I got it. All right, so yeah, this place is called Joop. It's in Hasselt. Belgium. This was the first place that we decided to stay. Oh yeah, hold up. I was changing my title. There we go. Looks awesome. I was like, this a goth hotel. That's where I'm staying. And it was great. Let's try and find some things. Okay, here's the part that's important. You can see it on this thing, right? I cannot express to you how absolutely tiny the rooms are, which is mostly okay. 90% of the room is this fucking bed. The bed's like in the middle of the thing. Hold on, I want to see if I could try and get some better pictures of like the bed. I don't know what this is. This wasn't anything or whatever. There were goats around the corner. Not of this place, but there were bells. There's always bells. What is? I'm trying to find a better picture. If they had ones that were like this, I didn't see none of those. They just had some tiny things. All right, let's try and go back up. Let's see. Hungry? That place I never got to eat at inside of Yoop. It was whatever. All right, so take a look at this. This is the bed, and you like there's the wall or whatever, right? And this is the window on the bed, right? This is the window that shows the bathroom from the bed. On the bed, you could pull down the, the shade if you want to. There's like blinds there that you can pull them down. But this here's the bed, which like I said is like 90% of the room. Spank view, essentially, yes. Here, this will give, okay, so this is the entranceway, and you just gotta imagine, oh yeah, and they got cages for you to keep your shit in. So here's the bed, and that's like the whole room. This small area right in the front is part of a very tiny hallway that goes around the bed. That's the entirety of the rest of the room. It goes around the bed in like a U shape, right? So let's just try and imagine like a big square in the center, and then there's a U-shaped hallway around the bed. And that's fine because I spend 99% of my bed anyway because I'm fat, right? And I'm fat and weak. Wonder if they clean the boob prints off the glass every couple of days, maybe. So, but here's the best part. This is what I'm gonna tell you. First of all, yeah, there's like the window that looks at the bathroom, but the only thing that separates the bathroom from this bed is a curtain. Just one tiny curtain. I'm gonna be able to find something else. So, oh, but yeah, I mean, this actually doesn't even have the curtain there. This picture, it doesn't even have the curtain, but there is a curtain normally that's right here, and that's what separates the bed and the rest of the place from the bathroom. Where also the toilet is, right? So if you're looking at the toilet here, these blinds are down, but let me explain. We got the shower here, and there's a window in the shower, which is cool. Opening a window and getting some air in while you're taking a nice hot shower, that was cool. But like, here's the toilet. So if you are there with somebody else, like if you're a couple, you're gonna hear them poop. Pretty much no matter what you do, you're gonna hear all of the bathroom activity, no matter what. And I was new to Belgium, so my stomach eventually got very angry at me for having new things or whatever. Like I generally have stomach issues all the time, and there was definitely one night. Once again, let me remind you, this window thing to the right, these shades, that's the bed. So like Emily is just on the other side of this wall, and we had the shade down for sure, but just this hallway separated by a curtain. So she's laying in bed watching TV while I am lifting off like a rocket from this toilet from the explosive poops that I have to take. That I have to, my gut is like very upset. She's like, she originally, before, when I was talking, I was like, oh, my tummy's a little upset or whatever. She was originally like, you want to take some probiotics or anything like that? And I was like, nah, I should be good. It's not gonna be that, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But we were laying down watching TV. It was all like quack. No, it was way worse. We're watching TV, and then I start to feel my stomach like actually flip the fuck out. I hadn't gone in like 3 days for almost no reason. Like my digestive system was rocked. And so I was like, look, we both are being adults about this. And I know that, you know, she's like, yeah, this stuff's not a big deal to me. And I'm like, good. Because I have to warn you that what's about to happen, it's going to be violent. And as you can plainly see, and as you know, there's a curtain there. Now, she has a lot of digestive issues as well, and that's why she was very understanding about these things or whatever. And it just ended up being funny to us or whatever, but like, it was an ordeal. It was definitely a thing. Imagine like the sound of cannons from Mario Brothers 3. You know, that sound, like, all over and over again. And it was, I don't need to go too much more into it. I think you guys understand how it was, but it was definitely an experience. Definitely an experience. All right, so let's close this out. And let's take a look and try and see where... Oh, here we go. Oh, that's right. It's just called Mexico. This is all it is. Yeah, take your notes. So just around the corner, I took a huge walk all around here, like the day that I got there, and I bought some stuff from a store. But here's the place. It's called Mexico. And that's it. How could I forget the name? It just says even on this thing, Mexico, Mexican. And I was like, I need to eat there. Dude, it's got 4.5 stars. 30 to 40 euros. Closes at 9 tonight. Handicap accessible. That's great. Let's take a little peek. The aesthetics there. Is this just filled with horchata? What's going on here? Let's take a look at what we got. You were like, oh no. I mean, these are heated up corn tortillas. Maybe this is actually run by actual Mexicans. Now, if you're like, the chips look weird, it's probably because they're from Belgium. That looks legit. That looks like some mole. Some Spanish rice. What if they did this? What if this is legit? Now I just need to go back. I don't know, man. What's happening here? That's fajitas, bro. Yeah, I see these fajitas. The fajitas. What's this? I mean, I see the corner. There's like pico de gallo. I wonder if that's what they call it. I don't recognize exactly what's going on here, but I like this. What is that? Like probably the spicy sauce on the lemon? Seems pretty legit. Is that like mint in a... I don't know what's happening here. They got some drinks. They got the bowl of chips. It's a mojito. Okay, okay. And some creme brulee. Do Mexicans make creme brulee? This is probably for the locals. I don't know. I've never really seen creme brulee at a Mexican restaurant. So for those of you who don't really know much about Belgium, there are like 3 major factions. That's wrong. Nationalities. They should add flan. It's the flan, whatever. But it's Dutch, French, and German all mixed up into a land that you could fit about 4 of in my state of Illinois. Oh, look at that! Look at it. It's very authentic. They hung a bunch of fucking sombreros everywhere. I mean, it's kind of cute, I suppose. Viva! Oh, it's the Corona thing or whatever it is. All right. Wait, what's this? Is this fucking Bruce Lee? What's going on here? Who's reaching out to who on this? What's happening here? I can't zoom in anymore. What's going on? Is that Jackie Chan? Give me the idol, Indy! I have no idea what's happening here. It's fine. Is it a potato and some cream? Do you recognize it? I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Oh, that's just like some chocolate and ice cream and shit. They look good. Those are prawns. I don't know what that's supposed to be yet. Some nice Mexican prawns and steak with a baked potato. Okay, so did you know that French fries were made in Belgium? The origin of the French fry is in Belgium. Best fries I've ever had in my entire life. I'm hungry now. I'm so sorry. Me too. I'm killing us all. They were in Belgium. And the mayonnaise too. They usually have mayonnaise all over everything or whatever. That shit is fucking unbelievable. I've never tasted mayonnaise like that in my life. But yeah, so there's a Belgian place. Oh my god. I could go for some elotes. There's a Mexican place in Hasselt, Belgium called Mexico. And I should have eaten it while I was there. I don't want to die with food. Yes. Alright, I suppose that's enough of this. Not the hard shell tacos, is it? Oh, it is. I don't know how I didn't notice that. Oh my gosh. Not only is it the hard shell taco, a hard shell, but it looks like that. It looks like the Taco Bell kind, the ones that, the abominations. I mean, whatever, I eat them, they're fine, they're delicious or whatever, but like that's different. That's for the thing. Thanks, Taco Bell. Thanks a lot. What's this, an enchilada? Fucking, okay. I don't know what this is. Food is food, yeah. Yeah, Taco Bell knows what it is. Yeah, exactly. And be like, it's not like I don't like it, but this shit needs to be, if they're gonna do like the hard shell, you need to just deep fry a corn tortilla. That's the best way to do it, and holy shit, is it delicious. That's how they're feeling, and that's how we will succeed, Pop Pop. We will go out there, and we will show them how it's done. They'll be like, oh, real Mexicans. And I'll be like, yeah, what's up? Wait, is there anything else? What else am I? Oh, it's just cycled over. More prawns. A little bit of surf and turf. Those shaved almonds. Jesus Christ, I'm starving. Alright, that's enough of that. That's enough of that! So when we go in Belgium? Huh? Meow meow? Tomorrow? Sounds good. Was that whole meal for like, for two, like $5? I think the whole meal for two might have been like 20 euros actually. Well, it depends on how much you get if you just like stay there, but who knows? Maybe it might have been. The food definitely was cheaper and real. That's the other thing. All the ingredients that you eat from other places are real. You've been to the States, right, Dino? Have you've tasted our food? Cause like, it's all synthetic here. It's all pretend food. All our food's made of microplastics. What are you gonna do about that? It's wild. Yes, it is. It's ridiculous, right? And to me, I'm like, European food is wild. What am I gonna eat for dinner? I forgot that I have a sandwich in the fridge. If I can grab that. How many people want to watch me eat a sandwich? Let's take a vote. Everybody out there? Nobody? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not hungry. Food be wilding up in this bitch. Alright, so we watched the thing. You're just sitting in a meeting? Oh, great. Is it one of those fucking meetings where they just talk about EBITDA and EBITDA, you know, like money and shit? And be like, here's a quarterly meeting. Is it every Thursday meeting? I want a sandwich. I would give you a sandwich. See, and then if we go over there to Europe too, whatever, Dino, then we can take you over. We can just take care of you, and we'll feed you yummy foods all the time. Easy. They're trying to pretend like they're making our life easier. Meeting. Oh my god, it could have been an email, right? It'd be like, if you could just email this out to us really quick, it'll be fine. My body is ready. Yes, Natty the Destroyer. I wish to perish. I wish to eat perishables. Alright, yeah, I've run out of content. We're all done. End of the world. That's it, everybody. Thanks. No, I'm not actually turning off. What do I got? What do I got to do today? All right, maybe another thing I can attest. We do it back to Fa Xanadu. Okay, I mean, I guess I could. There was something else I wanted to play. Oh, I wanted to play Lunar. I want to play Lunar and tell the story about Lunar. Do the character creator. You know, you could have said that in regular chat. Do it. What? What? Fa Xanadu. Fa Xanadu. Famicom Xanadu. Fa Xanadu. I'm very correct. Fa Xanadu is okay, but we still love him? Alright, alright. Look. If you would like to help support DJ, you can tip at the following link. Please help, I'm dying. Or don't help, I'm dying. Anyway. But DJ, I am like royal nobility. I don't do normal chat. Hello, minions. Hello. And she's like, I don't mingle with the help. My goodness. Character creator is a good reason. But is a good, I mean, that would be a pretty good idea to check out some things. Or Pradinis may have triggered my trap card. We should call her Princess Donut. As in Princess Donut, touch me with your filthy hands. Alright, so this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do in the near future. Oh god, I'm tired. Or do you do both? No, I want one. What, donut? I would like to devour Princess Donut. You start with the character creator and finish off with what Prod's trying to make you do. Not really feeling a character creator today, I'm gonna be honest. You're already inspiring others with your donut greatness. But now, since we're talking about Fa Xanadu, now maybe we'll just sit around here and I'll force you guys to watch a YouTube video with me about the history of Xanadu and Dragon Slayer. Right? This day is all about me because I'm tired. But I don't, man, I kind of have so much to talk about. And I don't remember which ones that was gonna happen. I got oven in the cake, can't watch YouTube. Oh my goodness. You're only gonna punish them. I genuinely have a meeting in like 5 minutes. Well, you better hurry up. You better hurry up and have that meeting and then come back for Fa Xanadu time. Xanadu. I did a little bit of history about stuff having to do with Dragon Slayer or whatever. Maybe I will just bore the shit out of everybody with like video game history about the Dragon Slayer series. You guys ever heard of Tales of Heroes that began with Dragon Slayer? I've been playing a ton of Falcom stuff because of things like that. It was a channel. I'm gonna show you this channel too. And think, oh yeah, that was the other thing that was fun to announce. Now that everyone is here. So as some of you may very well know, the month of May is the month in which my birthday resides. It is on the final day of May. May 31st. Everyone confused. Is it the 30th or the 31st? So I just like to be like, the last day. The last day of May. And normally with some times, I'm excited. Not March either. No, not March, Berdinius. No. May. You were like, is it this one or the next one? I can't. He's definitely doing that. May I ask if you reached retirement age yet? I personally feel like I have. I have decided that I'm retired. What do you... No. I'm retired. I wrote it down. I'm retired. No. No, look. See all this gray? You see all this gray in my beard? That's retirement, baby. That's how that works. I got fired from my job in October. and my beard is this gray, now I'm retired. Right? Yes. That's not how it works? Yes. Retired from retired, yeah. I'm retiring out of retirement. Fuck it. It's not retirement if you're broke. I beg to differ. Tell that to the 80-year-old guy working at McDonald's. Or like the 90-year-old guy that delivered my pizza once. Holy shit. That was like awkward. I was like, should I go and grab the pizza from him or should I let him do it himself? Like, cause like if I go and grab the pizza, will he be mad? He'll be like, no, I can do it. You know, I was like scared. It's gonna be us. Yeah, pretty much. No one is allowed to retire. I've already retired. It's not retirement if you're broke. He's not retired. I'm totally retired. I mean, everybody can and is broke, but nobody can be retired. We grind till we die. I ain't grinding. I'll grind somebody else. I don't know what I mean by that. It doesn't make any sense or whatever. But like I said, I'm retired. We're done. So yes, Lampy, I have reached retirement age. I'm currently the age of 45, and I will be the age of 46 on May 31st, 2025. Now, many of you may be asking, but DJ, what does this mean for us? I found that someone is that old and still working, and taking that away from them is an insult. I mean, it depends on why they're still working. If they're doing it because they just feel like they need to do something in their day or whatever, that's legit. But if they're doing it because they're retired and still don't have money because whatever, then that's some bullshit. Exactly. Well, some of them are working because I have to, but I've definitely met much older people that are working jobs like that or whatever because they just can't stand. Why you lie so hard? Because they just can't stand to not be doing something, and there's not enough to do at the house, and then they get a little more money. So there are some people that are just like that. You're like me. Natty's like, stop attacking me. There's certain people that work just cause. Yeah, that's me. Nah. Though I feel like, personally, I feel like you could find enough stuff to do around the house, Natty, because you are such a creative person. You do so many things. I bet you would be raising so many plants. I bet your house is gonna be a jungle, and it's gonna be amazing. You're gonna have so many projects. You're gonna build a foundry out back in the backyard and smelt things or whatever. No jungle rooms. Don't you listen to him. Don't you listen to him. We agreed? No. You didn't agree to shit here, Natty. Don't you listen to him. You can have as many plants as you want so that you guys can breathe oxygen. Prod said no jungle room, but he didn't say no jungle house. Easy. I feel like, those jobs are usually chill though. Ain't 80 a good age to start a politician in case McDonald doesn't work out? So, I mean, what I was gonna say is like, I mean, I've kind of said that too a little bit. We'll put a jungle gym out back. No. Don't relent to any of his bullshit. Oh, hey, it's Thursday. Happy birthday, Deenies. I love you. His birthday was 2 days ago, but that's cool. Happy birthday, Deenies. Deenies' birthday was thing. What day is today? Oh, tomorrow's Jaku's birthday. I think you should get a job at a gym front desk. Who, Pradini, so he can manage his jungle gym there? I mean, it's the fact that the government wants you, even if McDonald's denies you entry. Oh, for sure. There's so much to unpack in all of that or whatever. But I digress once again. DJ's birthday month is next month on May 31st. What does this mean for you, the viewer? I have decided... I'm not allowed to be nice on the Thursday. Oh, that's right. I see. I've decided that I'm going to stream all month long. For May. We're gonna count down. You did today? Oh, that makes total sense. We're gonna count down to the birthday. Since my birthday especially is at the end of the month, super easy. Why would I? Your poor PC? Nah, I never turn the damn thing off anyway. It's fine. And there'll be a lot of other different things or whatever. There's gonna be some time where I'm going to be watching my friend's parents' dog too. So the stream is gonna relocate at some point too to another location. And then there will be an adorable pupper there. It's gonna be lovely. But yeah, I'm gonna stream for 1 whole month. How about you shift it all so we can put Dune into that? I mean, make it 2 months. I mean, why ever turn it off, to be honest? maybe I'll just keep streaming until I just run out of money entirely and have to go be homeless. And then I'll just stream while I'm homeless. Who gives a fuck? So long as somebody pays my phone bill, I can just do that. It won't be a big deal. They already made me watch Dune. I did. I did it. That's why she's not a Harkonnen. But yeah, I'm a stream for an entire month. The countdown to my birthday at the end of the month. And that should be not very exciting. It's not really going to be super... Look, it actually might be a dreadful experience for a lot of you, to be honest. There's like 4 versions of that movie. Yeah, we gotta watch them. We gotta watch the director's cut. We gotta watch the theatrical cut. We gotta watch... Hovering ginger STDs at me. I want to spit on your face. Just a little spittle. That dude is fucked up. But stuff going on IRL for me right now. I was thinking about making a YouTube video about this too. And this is gonna get... This part's a little rough. I don't know how much I really want to go... I really want to go into my life situation at the moment. But it's not very good. And it's entirely my fault that it is not very good. That's something I want to make very, very clear. Like, how do we go about this or whatever? That's the most important part to get about a bit over. Hello, I am back. I had to go get a delivery package. I missed everything about the retirement. Yeah, I'm retired. Thufer, I see they've installed your heart plug. Don't worry, everyone gets one here. It's true. It's not about the gingers though. Look up Harkonnen boss from the old movies. Yeah, he's pretty good. Vladimir Harkonnen! I just got back to it. The first thing that I'm reading about STDIs, or STIs, I should say. They're not called sexually transmitted diseases anymore. They're known as sexually transmitted infections. That is the correct terminology now. Sexually transmitted disease? Who encompasses his doom? My life is bad because I don't want to do anything anymore. I'm very done. So if there are some people in the stream right now that don't really vibe with what they could consider negative or something that might make them feel sad, as much as I would love for you to be here with me and hang out, you might be safer muting or going somewhere else or whatever. Life is bad because I'm alive. Yeah, pretty much. Mine too, Dino. I'm sure Dino will be able to chime in plenty with how Dino's life also is absolutely dreadful. My life could definitely be way, way, way worse, right? Nettie's like, no! And my life has the possibility to definitely get way, way, way worse. I'm at a point right now to where I am very done. If I can help it, and if anybody, like, if somebody is watching this from the future, like, you know, to a place I may have applied to, if I decide to apply to some places in the future, you're watching this right now in order to find out what kind of person I am so that you can hire me or fire me or, like, choose not to hire me. Hi. Give me your money. I have... Yeah, no, I'm just kind of done. I'm super done with almost everything, especially work. This song is perfect for this. Especially where I'm tired of working. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of doing almost anything. And I'm completely out of money and I've squandered the entirety of it. I have unemployment right now, but that might only last like a month or two left, maybe. I need to call them and verify how that's going to be going out. So the month of May too is going to kind of end up being a bit like, it's gonna kind of be like the month. Isn't there something after unemployment? No. There's homelessness. There's somebody else doing it. Death? Yeah, essentially. Whatever Dino's going through. Not in the U.S. Yeah, no, we don't get anything. We don't have basic income. Chicago was trying to do a basic income thing for a little while. I don't know what that's like, and I don't know what it's like to try and get on there. Technically, I am an able person to where, like, I could do a job or whatever. Technically, my legs and arms work. technically. Though that's also another thing that's a bit of an issue. Jesus Christ, there's so much to like go over. Here you get unemployment, and after that you get something like no ideas, call it emergency critical survival money. Yeah, what they normally refer to that is basic something income, like some sort of basic income. Yeah, that does not exist in the U.S. It's why the majority of us are like severely fucked in a multitude of ways. And even if it existed, guess what the current regime is doing? Yeah, getting rid of it all. That's why, you know, this stream we might get into a whole lot more of talking about political stuff right now too, because of it, because that is a very, very huge and important part of everything that's happening in our entire fucking world. And that also has been definitely like filling me with dread, for sure. That's gonna affect everybody, the entire world. It's going to affect, for a multitude of things or whatever. Feel like not enough people are talking about it. It's true. A lot of, because they're fucking scared, dude. People are getting sent to fucking El Salvador for doing nothing. You know what I mean? Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy you were able to get that job jibbed. That's so good. Saying job jibbed was going to be a little hard, so I put a space in there. Crashing down right after I got the job. Yeah. I mean, so, which is funny because then I'm very unfortunate to have lost my job when I did. We should send him to El Salvador for doing nothing. He's great at doing nothing. I mean, they're sending people with... They're not giving people any due process and then just sending them to the fucking torture gulag. Maybe we ought to send the people who do that to the people who actually are criminals. But I digress once again. Oh, there's so many places to go from where we are here. I'm kind of self-conscious about a lot of the things that I'm about to say and the emotions that it's going to evoke, especially in the people that care about me. Bringing that shit up is so relevant. Don't even apologize. It's extremely relevant. It's extremely relevant because if that didn't exist, if our current regime wasn't doing exactly what it was doing, and maybe we had a lot of other better things in place, maybe if America had like universal health care, a lot of the things that I'm just about to talk about would not really be too much of an issue, right? Well, it would still be an issue, but like I would get more help than I am getting. And it's not like I can't get any help, but my brain is busted and it's hard for me to even do anything to make help, especially in a world where everything requires a violent amount of like intense bureaucratic paperwork kind of situations going on. You know what I mean? I can barely most of the time like get out of bed. Getting out of bed to like call someplace so that I can get some assistance is like damn near impossible. And being a big strong looking guy, while it's kind of cool to be a big strong looking guy, that doesn't really help, because then everybody is like, well then motherfucker just needs to be a strong man and do some shit. And then I'm like, well, okay, but I'm strong in like a handful of things, but if there's something that I'm not strong in, it's whatever is happening right now. You know, like sometimes the strongest person, you know, everybody's got a breaking point. Everybody's got a limit. DJ, even if your life changes, you're always going to be one of my bestest friends. And don't forget, you promised me your skull. It's true. Please use my skull maybe as like a headphone holder or something like that. It would be cool. Or for breakfast cereal or something. It's true. Thank you. It's very kind of you to say, Lampy. Chamber pop, also possibly. Snuggle with it at like... Use my skull as a teddy bear. Used to strike fear in the hearts of my enemies. That is also a viable use. It doesn't have that many teeth left on it though, so it's not. Like, I feel like one thing that's really important on what a skull looks like and how cool it looks and stuff like that is the teeth. Lacking a lot of those. Does it just make it scarier? I mean, so long as I have at least a few real teeth left, then it might make it nice and scarier and stuff like that. That's cool. Twitch just played an ad and then it glitched and played a second ad? No. Now I'm stuck on Peloton's logo. Oh, fuck. Screw in some... Oh, yeah. Yeah, modify it. Make it fucking cool. That would be the fucking coolest. You want to know what really sucks? Is that, like, I almost just said, when you do that, send me a picture. But I would be dead. It would be my skull. Where was I? My health. Let's talk about that for a little bit. It's not good. But it's cheaper to denture. Yeah, absolutely. It's cheaper to put it in after the skull has been taken out of the head. You can just get a bunch of Chiefs and just slap them on there. Send a picture to Heaven of my skull. Yeah, exactly. I want to see what it looks like after you decorate it. Bedazzle that bitch. My health is bad, and it is my fault that it is bad. It has generally always been my fault that my health is bad. Some would argue that it isn't exactly my fault, because part of that aspect of having to do with the health has to do with my mental health. Which is very bad and always has been. Like, just 100%. And, I mean, it was very bad kind of starting out, but then, you know, as time goes on, it just gets much worse. So, like, some of the health getting bad, like, I don't know, we can start with kind of some of the mental stuff. The only thing that I've been, well, there's two major things that I've been formally diagnosed with, and that is major depressive disorder and PTSD. CPTSD. Those two things, I mean, even just one of those things is a big deal, right? It fucks some shit up. Both of those things together, they're best friends, but not with me. They're best friends with each other. They love each other, but they don't like me. Actually, they love me for tormenting. So those things are a bit of an issue. It makes it hard for me to do some stuff. And it makes it hard for me to do almost everything stuff. So then, yeah, Dino's like, CPTSD crowd! CPTSD hype! But it makes it hard for me to do anything to do it. What's it, C? Yeah, I forgot what the C is for, but it's kind of a ruder version of just regular PTSD. Oh, complex, I think. CPTSD. Yes. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It is a mental health condition that can develop after experiencing prolonged trauma. Closely related to PTSD, but PTSD symptoms are often more severe and pervasive. Let's read the symptoms. Flashbacks and nightmares, difficult controlling emotions, heightened emotional responses, difficulty maintaining relationships, negative sense of self, feeling worthless, ashamed, or guilty, feeling isolated from others, difficulty trusting others, amongst many other things. Makes you a combat. I mean, it definitely turns on your fight or flight response like 90% of the time, right? You should get checked out or some shit. Oh man, absolutely. You know, I have no doubt. I mean, and this can take form in a multitude of other ways too, right? Here, let's do this thing. Causes prolonged child abuse. I feel like that one's right up your alley, Sir Roland, if I may be so bold. Forgive me if I may not be so bold. Domestic violence, human sex trafficking, war, frequent community violence. Girl, you need therapy too. Yeah, 100%. It's true. It's true. But yeah, things that can even just last a long period of time. Something that may not seem that it's going to be all that bad, after a long period of time does cause some serious issues for some people, and makes it very complex, especially like with the emotional regulation and things like that. It's a big fucking deal. It could be as simple as just having a parent that is just like neglectful. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, like everybody, we have to touch base in that whole thing where like everybody's experience is their own, and like, you know, that's the thing that matters for them, no matter how much it is, right? So you have some people out there that are you know, being horribly abused to a severe degree every single day for like their entire childhood or whatever, and then you have other people out there who just have like a parent that is just not nice, you know, and it's always that same thing forever with that parent just being like not accepting about something forever. That alone also could make that happen. You know, like I ain't no doctor or nothing, but that's what I've read in places and stuff. You kind of get conditioned. You get used to certain things that may or may not be quite unhealthy. You know, so that's a bit of an issue that with it. And here let's actually even Google up the symptoms of major depressive disorder. Serious mental illness that involves persistent feelings of sadness and loss of interest in activities. Mood, sadness, emptiness, hopelessness, irritability, interest, loss of activities, sleep, insomnia. Oh, Jesus. I'm glad that wasn't full. Insomnia, hyperinsomnia, sleep disturbances, appetite, significant changes in appetite or weight. So either you eat a shitload or don't really eat at all, whatever. Yeah, you're in your environment growing up. Yeah, adds up. Yeah, for sure. Energy, fatigue or lack of energy. I've been sleeping like 18 or more hours a day for like an entire week or so, maybe more weeks, some other weeks. I don't know. Those days are they've kind of disappeared. Thinking, difficulty concentrating or making decisions, guilt, feelings of worthlessness or excessive guilt, thoughts of death, suicide ideation or suicide attempts. A lot of these things that I'm talking about right now is kind of the reason why I was like, be careful, because like the rest of the conversation that I was about to go on could definitely be triggering or ruin a mood. You know, it could definitely make some people very, very upset. So those things, they're a bit of an issue. Why are you describing me? I also think I may have ADHD. I think I might be autistic. But I was formerly like tested for ADHD, but that's when I was told that it was just the CPTSD and it has a lot of comorbidities. So those are kind of the thing or whatever. So we've gone over that, right? Those two issues I could say that I definitely have and I definitely suffer from, and it is quite a pain in the ass. Now that then tumbles into a lot of other things. It causes some maybe behavioral issues. That whole intense lack of things, whatever. ADHD is part of the spectrum now. Oh, they kind of go hand in hand. Yeah. I have seen ADHD a lot more lately, because almost everybody that generally was being diagnosed with ADHD was also being diagnosed with autism. ADHD required you to have the retarded diagnosis, or was that supposed to be like the hard R word, whatever, which is intense because generally the word retardant simply meant that it was slow at a thing. Oh shit, what up, you new god? It's great to see you. Thank you so much for retweeting all of my dreadful retweets. It makes me feel seen, and I really appreciate you. We're talking about a bunch of dreadful stuff right now. Maybe I ought to put like a trigger warning in the title or something. I don't remember. Oh, it had an IQ cap? What the fuck? Behavioral issues lead to not properly taking care of yourself, even if you want to. Yeah, I go through it a lot myself too. Yeah. So that's pretty much the other half of the situations that are going on right now here. Let's see. I take 4 medications right now. Almost 5. Atorvastatin is one of them. I kind of don't remember. So we have this trinity right now here, right? Or whatever. Spent my day doom scrolling and spamming reposts. Me too. Every time we see each other on that shit, me and you are together on that. Do you understand? We are together. It is both of us marching down the fucking the shitty brick road. Both of us marching down. I think the use of the word should still be fine. Not our fault that some cunts misuse the term as an insult. But that's kind of the thing, right? Is that like, that's a whole different conversation. You know, we're gonna save that conversation for another time. That's a completely different conversation. ADHD, ADHD, PTSD, seasonal depressive disorder. Pretty much sure I have that. Oh yeah, I was also diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder at some point as well. Those frog emotes are the fucking best. Look at these. Look at these babies. Anyway. These are 3 of the main medications that I take right now, right? atorvastatin, amlodipine, and varstatin or whatever. I'm pretty sure that these two statins are for... Shit, I can't remember. These two statins are for one thing. I think it's either cholesterol. It's either cholesterol or blood pressure, and then amlodipine is either for cholesterol or blood pressure, right? These are almost completely empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 more of these pills, so that's a little more than a week. I got 2 more of these pills. Let me show you about these pills. These pills are actually pretty. These are my favorite pills for 2 reasons. 1, they're gigantic, so they scare the shit out of everybody. But 2, they smell like delicious chocolate and kind of taste like chocolate as well. Fun. I got 2 more doses of those. So by the weekend, we'll be done with those. And this one, which I think is a blood pressure one, 2 more of those too. If you have trouble downing those, every once in a while it gets me. Every once in a while it gets me. Will you be around for a while, DJ? I'm behind schedule. I might be. Yeah, I don't know. Want to chat more when I return? I think that I might be on for a while because I also do want to play some video games. And physically right now, I'm feeling pretty okay. So I might be able to last for a while. I kind of want to play Lunar, so we might do that. Love having an inability to take pills normally. Woven very much is the same way. So what, man? Woven is in so much more of a situation because Woven has been diagnosed recently. I hope he's okay with me telling you guys this, with fibromyalgia. I'm pretty sure I'm fine talking about it. He's had headaches his entire life, and now the rest of his body is really just a cesspool of pain. But the worst part is that he is extremely resistant to chemicals. He's extremely resistant to drugs. So he can't really fucking make it stop. He cannot. Like morphine. He had a morphine patch put on his knee 1 billion years ago because he has a knee injury from when we were children. And the only thing that stopped his pain was this morphine patch. He put it on his knee and he's like, oh my God, it's finally gone. Wow, this is great. He came back like 20 minutes later. He got 20 minutes of relief at one point in time. For those things generally knock out a 20-mile ride. Oh, that's amazing, Hack. Yeah, go do your ride, brah. That's great. You have the same problem where only the hard stuff kind of help? Yeah, that's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Yeah, so any drugs, he could do that. But on top of that, he has trouble swallowing pills too as well. So when we were growing up and he was trying to manage his headaches and do anything for it or whatever, he would take just higher doses of chewable aspirin or whatever, chewable drugs. Or then, and then eventually he started grinding up some of the pills and putting it in water, and downing it. Yeah. When the pain-free, I had fentanyl and horse tranquilizer. Yeah. And you just can't keep doing that though, right? You're like, all right, I get to feel better for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then it's gone, and then you just gotta fucking white knuckle ride that shit all the way down the hill until you can take that dose again, because you can't just keep chewing them down every half hour. It doesn't. The problem is it still does fuck up your body. That's what I do most of the time. Grind pills up, put them in something else like yogurt. Yeah. Legit. That is definitely. That's some shit. Where was I? Who am I? Keep rolling over something. There you go. I found it. Giving them at the hospital for IV. Oh boy. Oh, that must have been nice to finally have a little bit of relief. But you felt sick as fuck still though, right? Stop rolling over things, this boy. Anyway. Mental health mega bad, right? Some people would just see this as an excuse for a lot of those things. They're like, we know that your mental health is bad, but you can't just not do stuff, DJ. And I'm like, yeah, I can. I can very much not do stuff. Yeah. And then they're like, but you said out loud that you're doing this, so it's a choice. I get you when you say that, right? I get anybody when they say that, but I would posit that I have just seen that it has not been a choice for so goddamn long that I feel like is kind of given up. I feel like that I just know what I'm gonna do next, and it's not anything conducive to healing. You know, it's not anything conducive to anything getting better. You know what I mean? I'm just happy I only have to take allergy meds and the other thing, yeah. But when I'm out of the other thing, that's gonna be dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. So the things that I need to do are take those. All right, so we have these 3 things. All right, so that means I'm probably going to stop taking my, because I'm gonna be out of these. So one thing I haven't done yet is called the pharmacy to see, because the prescriptions are still there. I'm pretty sure I have refills. The issue is just how much does a refill cost? Because right now the amount of dollars I have is pretty sure under 100 total for everything, which is especially dreadful for a bunch of reasons. Well, anyway, so yeah, I gotta call and find out how much all this stuff costs, right? Because I'm probably gonna need more. Even funnier though is that I don't know how much more really that I'm gonna need, but I'm definitely due, because I'm not eating very well because of all the other mental reasons that we just went over. So soon I'm gonna be out of the cholesterol medication and the blood pressure medication, right? So that's gonna cause a little bit of spiraling. Now here's the especially rough part. Dingy 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 ding. I probably should have called them earlier. I wonder if I can get this in any other way. Oh wow, that's worse than I thought. These are my brain meds, right? If anybody's wondering about how my mental health is, and they're like, can you get on medication? I'm on it. I'm on that medication. I have 3 pills left of maximum dose duloxetine. I think it's maximum dose. I might be wrong. It's a big dose. It's like 60 milligrams now. You gotta work your way up to that. Adjusting to this shit takes like 3 months. And it can be a little rough. The dreams get especially wild. Like, I normally already have really fucked up dreams all the time, and I have really fucked up dreams all the time, and what was the other thing? I'm like used to that, kind of. It's like my entire life, you know. But when you take these things, man, the dreams just like the dreams feel like they're like directed and funded and produced entirely by David Lynch, maybe. Like, some of those dreams have been, as somebody who is a professional dreamer, I'm waking up and being like, what the fuck was that? Like, it's pretty hardcore. Did you, oh, so you were starting to have those dreams too? They were fucking wild, right? Oh my gosh. So yeah, it does it. Generally it takes up to 3 months in order to have them like finish doing it. And pretty much every day that you get off of them is like days of having to readjust to them again. It can be pretty daunting. Now, something that happens to me when I stop these things, so if I stop these things for 2 days, I get very wobbly, right? Used to make short films inspired by David Lynch when I was younger. Fuck yeah. I get very wobbly at first, right? That's kind of how it starts. I wake up in the middle of the night because I have to take a piss, and which is normally due to my diabetes or whatever. I get really wobbly, and then I go, you know, it's hard to do things for a while. It's like whatever. But then the longer that you start to go without it, then you start getting what's called the brain zaps. Not sure if any of you may have felt these before, but it's almost just like these tiny little malfunctions that happen inside your brain. They make your entire body feel like it shook for just a moment. Like, just, that's why they call it brain zaps, because you just literally feel like you're getting zapped in the brain. The reason you stopped was I got more and more tired every day, like it was worse than I already was. Yeah, like getting energy drain even while sleeping. Yeah, it could be like that too. Did you make it the full 3 months, the full adjustment? And the thing that's funny is that it could cause you sleeping all the time like crazy, or it could cause you being awake, like unable to be awake. It could cause you to have, like, you know, a bunch of energy, or it could cause you to be awake and not have the energy, or whatever. There's like a billion different things that could make those things happen. One of the things that does generally help with these drugs. All right, so there's 2 reasons why I'm taking them. The one biggest reason, of course, is to keep my brain to do anything. If something really dreadful happens and I have like a severely depressive episode, a severely depressive situation, before these drugs, normally it would, I might be depressed for months or years from an event, depending on how bad the event is. Months or years. These drugs make it to seem like 2 days. Like I bounce back, I have 2 days of absolute dread, and then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, let's do stuff. And then, you know, like, then I'm fine. This allows me to do that. So that's pretty cool. I have 3 more days of this. And then everything, if I don't get more of this, everything could get especially wild. And I have to even be able to afford this. So that also is going to be fun. They were supposed to help me get out in the real world, but they did, yeah. I still hated going out, and no point in suffering street tiredness. Legit. I hope that I make sure to wean off of them kind of slowly, if you have not. Un momento, por favor. I have to take a look at a couple of things. Where was I? Yes, the brain zaps. So I'm gonna start getting the brain zaps. I'm gonna start being, it's gonna start being really hard for me to like just kind of function, get up, stand up, walk for a little bit. And this is the reason why. And so, like, once again though, like, you know, we're gonna try and stream all month of May. But the problem is that entire month of May may just be filled with me being fucking destroyed. And I'm just gonna leave the fucking stream on for the whole time. So you guys just might see me sleep a lot. You guys just might kind of like watch me, like you might watch me suffer. It might not be entertaining for some people. There'll probably be some video games going on here or whatever, but like there's a chance that I may just be going through it. Yeah, are you in the same, is that when the other stuff is gonna run out too for you? Because yeah, then we can do it together, Dino. So it may not be super entertaining. It may be me sleeping 18 hours a day or whatever, waking up, trying to get some food in me, maybe trying to play a little video game or something like that, having some cartoons on or something. Who knows exactly how that shit's gonna go. So that's something that I just wanted to warn you all of, is that my May birthday streamathon might not be a positive experience. Run out, birthday trauma, and May is when you had steps. Oh yeah, that was dreadful. Poor thing, that's fucking horrible. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. I'm gonna talk about another thing, and it's something that's extremely unfortunate because it has to do with the side effects of diabetes. Because that's another thing I'm diagnosed with. Now you might be like, DJ, why are you drinking a soda if you're diabetic? Remember all that mental stuff I was talking about? There it is. It's kind of the only thing that keeps me going. That's kind of like being like, hey man, why are you doing heroin again? Yeah, even if you want to take care of yourself properly. Yeah, exactly. But DJ, yes, sweetie. Go on, Princess Donut. It's just kind of hard to stop those things. Good news is it probably will stop soon because I'm going to run out of money to be able to buy more. I've heard about diabetes from someone else, and it sounds dreadful. I'm not even in the worst part of it. I'm not even in the worst part of the diabetes, except for one very, very important thing. And this is gonna be kind of sad or whatever. And it's a thing generally that people feel like would be rather embarrassing. No, bone shards. If it was bone shards, I'd be fine with that. I know that's bad, but I think yo fuck illnesses. Life ain't for living. You can't do what makes you happy. That's kind of the thing. But one of the reasons why, because I agree with that, like on a fundamental level, which is also why I have these now. Did you know that in America we don't have crazy black labels on our cigarettes, like in Belgium? In Belgium, they have pictures of cancer. They have pictures of like lungs that are black with cancer and shit like that on their packs of cigarettes. They aren't fucking around. Like I always drink stuff that makes me hurt because I like to taste. Which one was it? Is it the pineapple juice? It's the pineapple juice, right? Like you might be allergic to it, and you have to like try and figure out what the amount is that you can do. Yes. I knew those warning labels on energy drinks and junk foods. I mean, essentially, that's kind of the, yeah, that's kind of a deal or whatever. But you want to know what's nuts? Is that like junk food over where you are, aside from like actual sugar or chocolate, like, you know, eating fast food in Europe was so much more healthier for me than just eating any food in America. Yeah, if I start drinking, the whole body starts hurting. Ugh. So the question at that point would be is like, how much damage is it actually doing to your body, right? Because there's a little bit of a difference between like somebody who's lactose intolerant drinking milk and then shitting their brains out. You know, how much damage does it actually do to their body, or is it just uncomfortable? You know, you're drinking this pineapple juice, you might be allergic to it, but you recover from it. How much damage is that doing to your body? And then the difference between somebody that actually has the inability to process sugar, drinking and consuming more sugar that has everlasting damage that it compounds upon itself endlessly, right? My dad got hooked on energy drinks and developed diabetes just from that. And he had massive diabetes care over it. Holy shit. That's pretty hardcore. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that like everybody's different. Some people just, you know, some people will be fine. When you become diabetic, so type 1 diabetes is, those people just kind of get fucked, like flat out. They just can't, their pancreas just don't fucking work, and it's horrible. Type 2 diabetes, which is what I have, is generally what people consider like the fat guy disease, right? And it's because you just drink so much shit that the insulin like spikes up, causes damage to your tissues, and it destroys like all of the receptors that take it in, so that just continues to get worse and worse and worse because there's not enough receptors in order to take in like whatever the waste is that is created with insulin and sugar comes together and all that shit, and it just continues to compound itself and get worse, and then it fucking kills you, takes your fucking feet, all sorts of stuff like that. Brutal. Drink coffee despite having heart issues. Yeah, that's kind of bad. That is kind of bad. Quite nearly fucked him up drastically. Oh god. Are you being serious? I know about stomach burns, the holes, but this is new. Oh man. Yeah, that's entirely possible because that's why type 2 is the way that it is or whatever. Did he drink the 0-calorie ones or the energy drinks? Oh, that's a good question too. Dad's one of those constantly exercise and stays in shape type of people. Oh wow. Just become Dave Bautista. My sugar is below pre-diabetic because of weight loss. Oh, that's fucking awesome. See, I did do that at some point, but now I just want to die. So, like, it's a little harder to want to do any of that. Also, it's one of the cheapest ways to get calories in your system. A little bit of caffeine. I really should just switch to coffee. But, okay, so this is where everything is going to start to really compound, is that part. Nervous laughter. Not that I'm addicted to Monster Ultra White. Poor Dino. I get that, but if you don't die, then we can all continue being wobbly. I mean, that's true. Like, you know, in like a literal sense. Yes. In a very literal sense. Ugh. I'm just gonna complain about all this stuff for a while. I'm not exactly doing this for clicks. I'm super self-conscious about all this shit right now. Because my entire life also has been me talking about all of these things that I'm going through, and then people helping me, and then eventually they're like, why won't you help yourself? And it's just a non-stop thing. It's just literally been my entire life. And I have done my best for a long time, especially on stream. Donkey Kong rats. Hey. Especially on stream, I do my best not to get too in-depth about a lot of these things that are going on, because then it makes people feel bad, and then people, people want to do things that they can to help or whatever, and then I feel bad that people are helping because I feel like it is my fault that all this stuff is happening or whatever. Like, you know, on paper somewhere, there's a standard operating procedure of things that I'm supposed to do in order to be able to fix all of these fucking problems, right? You know, it would be like, all right, well, what's the first step? All right, well, you should sign up for Medicaid. I did do that. I got turned down, and I have to go to the marketplace in order to get it, and then they can help me with that money. And that's just like a possible thing that I could do for any of that. But then, you know, what are the things that I would need next? Therapy, psychiatry, more medication on those things. What do I need to do that? I need money. I need the job, right? I don't have a job right now. I don't exactly have an income. That's going to go away. So, the next thing to do there would be to just like fucking suck it up and get a job. For the last 10 years, I worked at a job where I did almost nothing anymore and just got shoveled a bunch of money and kept on being forgotten about in a corner. And I was able to help a lot of people with that money often. And I'm really happy that I was able to do that. But like I'm just kind of useless now. And some people would be like, you're not useless. You're a supercomputer guy. You can do it. And I'm like, yeah, do you know how much I should have been fired from that job? So much longer than when they fired me. But they just continued to kind of forget that I existed. My partner too at that job as well is the same thing. He's moved on to other stuff since then, but I ended up the last person in the position that like the position that I was in. They refused to hire anybody else to come like help me out or anything like that. And the lack of anything that I ever did at all, it just all went away. You and me, but older. Oh, well, I hope not. We're the same, but we're the same. Yeah. You know, all of those things, it definitely did some stuff to me mentally. And while it was extremely helpful, like I've been able to take care of people who come here and move into this house and have all the money for them. I was able to have enough money to where I could give them an allowance while they were looking for work or anything like that. There was so much shit that was going on. I was able to help with a lot. And now I don't have anything to show for it because I'm a fucking idiot, for lack of all of the correct terms. But I don't even know where I'm going with a lot of this stuff. This really is just like flat out a rant about what's kind of going on in my life and a little bit more about what's going on under the hood here that is going to affect me greatly, that will affect your viewing experience, because either I'm not going to be around for it at all, or you guys are just going to be able to continue enjoying watching me like rot to death, right? You just helped other people with my own retirement. That is correct. I emptied my retirement. That doesn't make you stupid. Yeah. But yeah, my retirement's completely empty. I don't have any more 401k, which hilariously enough right now, because of all the shit that's going on with all the you know, the fucking Third Reich of Mr. Orange Man and all that shit, that ended up being like a 4D decision. Right? That ended up being like a 5D chess move out of nowhere, because everybody's 401ks are just like taking a dive. So I ended up accidentally pulling out and using all of my 401k. So to do it at that, can't destroy what doesn't exist. That's right. What now? What now, buddy? I'm ahead of the curve. So, but yeah, no retirement. I had a severance package that was like thousands of dollars. I used that to pay rent and buy food and who knows, whatever, cigarettes, whatever. And right now, one of the reasons why I'm smoking is because I'm stressed, but also it stunts your hunger. And it helps keep you awake. I was being asleep for 18 hours a day plus, and I was getting tired of doing that because I wanted to play video games and hang out with you guys, and I couldn't really do that. That's also the other thing with sugar. Caloric intake hypes me up. It makes me happy. All of those things. This is what I got. These are the things that I got. These are the things also that a lot of extremely poor people got. It's all they got. You know what I mean? Thanks once again, though, to Two More Cookies for supplying me with one more pack so that I can get through a few more days. I'm gonna try not to smoke them all in a day like I did with the last 2 packs. Lot going on, right? That's the whole issue of things, you know, a lot of things that a lot of people don't understand when it runs into the world of poverty or whatever. You considering smoking too recently? Don't if you can't, but if you do, I feel you. If you do, I'm right there with you. I smoke in solidarity, brother. Anyway, what were some of the paths? There are so many other paths that I could do it. Thanks. Hey, he's here. What's up? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Helped me out. It made my morning. When I woke up and I had that first cigarette and I was like, this was necessary. I would be so fucked if I could tolerate smoke. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I have a thing where I get instant headaches of any kind. If smoke is in the air, wow. That's pretty wild. I had another friend that was like that too. she like if there was any type of smoke from pretty much any type of thing, literally. Like if I think that the fumes from like a 3D printer even, and it's barely even fumes, but like it starts to give her a headache. It just like starts to really fuck her up. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you about the worst part of getting off of these things. So there's something that I found out recently. Probably had long been a heavy smoker if I could tolerate it. So duloxetine is for the brain pain, right? It works to a certain degree. It's definitely helpful with a lot of things. So, but when I lost my job, I had decided that I was going to get off of duloxetine. And I started to kind of like try and wean myself off it a little bit. I got a lower dose, and I talked to my doctor for the last time, which was in October. I got a lower dose of it so I could try and wean myself off of it, and then eventually I just stopped. Brother, what up, Steven Flo? It's good to see you. I got off of the duloxetine. I started getting the brain zaps. I felt like I was starting to get through it and everything like that. And then something started to happen to me. Please enjoy this next piece of information into the look of growing old and suffering from a disease. All of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I mean, so already from diabetes, I have to piss like 5 times a night. It makes it very hard to get actual rest or whatever. But I started pissing myself in my sleep. Not a ton, but like when I'm sleeping, it's like I'm starting to spring a leak. And it's very, very frustrating. It's enough to where it could be like a blotch on my shorts, on my boxers. Exactly. Like, you know, so may actually be time for me to wear adult diapers. Fun times. But. Then I was like, I started to look up more information about people who are incontinent when they're sleeping. People piss themselves when they're sleeping. Adults, how that happens or whatever. First thing that I found out is it could be a thing for diabetes. When you have diabetes and there's a ton of sugar flowing around in your blood, it's like unchecked diabetes, which I have. Oh, that don't let me forget to talk about Ozempic. If you have unchecked diabetes, the sugar like abrases everything in your entire blood or whatever. Yeah, never heard of that. Good to know. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Whatever. Don't forget Ozempic. Okay, make sure I don't forget. One thing that it can do is it can it's abrasive to your nervous system, and this includes the nerves in your bladder. Everything connected to your bladder. So, when you have diabetes, it's possible to start wetting yourself when you're sleeping. It gets especially worse if you have to, like, take some sort of sleep aid that you could stay asleep. But in the middle of the night, your body's trying to flush out all the sugar in your system, so it makes you piss like crazy all the time. Also affects kidney function. Yeah, that's right. What's up, Guns? It does fuck up your kidneys as well. That may be a thing that's happened. I'm not sure about that. I've had a back pain in my lower right back for a little while now, and I don't know. But, yeah, diabetes can make you piss yourself. And I was like, okay, well, what do people do about this aside from put on diapers? It turns out duloxetine is a drug that's prescribed to make you stop pissing yourself. So some people, if they're just even incontinent or whatever, and it doesn't have to even do with any brain pain type stuff that's going on, like they don't need it for anxiety or anything, they can get prescribed duloxetine to not piss themselves in the middle of the night. So now it seems like it may have been a little bit of a combination of, one, the diabetes causing damage to my bladder, but two, I've been on this stuff for a long time. Yeah, how the fuck they're prescribing a brain wed for that? Yeah, it won't fuck up the brains? It might. It might. That's just one of those things too. So, Supreme Waifu Prime got given this because this also helps with nerve pain. She has migraines all the time, so they gave it to her for her migraines. But she also does have anxiety disorders and stuff like that or whatever, but it really fucked her up and she had to stop. But yeah, so for me, it may have been a combination of the diabetes and the fact that I've been on this drug for a very long time, that when I stopped taking it, like, It just loosened everything up. So I was like, shit. Started sleeping. But that brings me to another thing here or whatever. Another drug that I was originally on was the diabetes medication, right? I had been on a bunch of different medications before here and there. I was taking the one that I hate the most, that almost everybody hates. Drugs do be crazy. They be wildin'. Is metformin. I hate metformin. Yeah, the Roland said right there. I hate metformin. It just made my stomach feel like it was full of razor blades. Constantly made me poop all the time. Well, it just gave me painful diarrhea like nonstop. And one of the things that people do in order to be able to get around that is they get on other drugs that are injectable. And that's what happened to me. And I started getting on a drug called Trulicity. Trulicity worked out pretty good. It stunts your hunger a little bit. It lasts for a week at a time, so it's not something that I have to try and remember to take every single day. And that was just fantastic. That worked out. That worked out pretty good. If you have insurance, I don't remember even how much it costs with insurance. It's not a ton. Yeah. Oh, they denied you for Manjaro. Prescriber sent to see if it can get a Zepbound. I hope that you can get that. Man, that's bullshit that they denied you for Manjaro. Ugh, fucking. God damn it. So yeah, 1 injection for a week. Oh wait, is it for the week or is it for all 4 weeks? Current regime, etc. Yeah, exactly. Because that's the part I'm about to talk about, right? Like, these drugs, you know, they cost like $3 with insurance or something like that. And if you don't have insurance, it might be like 50. Might be like $50. Like, it's a little more manageable, technically, if you don't have insurance. You know, that is what it is. But diabetes medication is absurd. I think it's like $1,000. I can't remember if it's $1,000 per pen or if $1,000 a month. I think it's $1,000 a month. Normally, I think that got down to like $50 with insurance. But like my month's supply of diabetes medication out of pocket is like $1,000 to $1,300. Trulicity was gonna. Oh yeah, I have no idea why that happened to you at all. Yeah, you gotta head out. Good luck and don't die. Okay, have a good day, Roland. But yeah, those things cost $1,000. That's not very easy for me to just like, you know, go buy, especially because I don't have insurance. But also the big reason why I don't have insurance because I don't have the job. Yeah, it's a lot, right? Somebody gave me an Ozempic pen. They got put on Manjaro. They had a full pen available to them, and so they of Ozempic, and so they gave me the Ozempic, but I was kind of afraid to use it because if something goes wrong, the ER is pretty much my only my only recourse, right? So I don't have a doctor that I can go to and just be like, hey, this is what's going on now. But I finally took it Monday for the first time, and it's not so bad right now. But that's, you know, that can start helping. And this pen is a pen that is meant to be taken in 1 week at a time. Each dose is supposed to be 2 milligrams. Is it milligrams? It says mg. Microdose. 2 mg once a week for 4 weeks. But I decided to start at what generally they tell you to start at, which is a 0.25. Normally they start you at 0.25 for 4 weeks, then they raise you up to 0.5, and then they raise you up to 1, then they raise you up to 2, I think, something along those lines. But it only has 4 needles. It comes with detachable needles on there, and it only has 4 of them. I found out, though, that I can buy other needles. So that's when I was like, you know what, now I have to really start trying to take this because I don't really have any other recourse for any other things. So now I'm taking Ozempic. It's not so bad right now. We'll see how that goes. But once that Ozempic pen is gone, then I'm done for. But hopefully that'll keep me going for quite a while. There's a whole lot of ranting for a whole lot of things. But it's stuff that I just haven't, you know, like I talk about it a little bit in these little flecks every now and then. You know, and I kind of like joke about it or whatever, but we're coming to a point to where like, It's like the monster of procrastination is beginning to loom its head over my shoulder, and everything is compounding on itself. And it's both my fault and not my fault at the same time. And I'm extremely self-conscious about it all. Because there are answers and I'm not doing any of them, and I feel like I'm being judged and looked down upon for not doing any of those answers and not getting proper help. Like it's my fault that I'm not doing any of that. And it's kind of quantum. That shit's like true and untrue at the same time. But it's just been so goddamn long. Like an entire lifetime of having to deal with myself. Nobody else has to deal with me 100% of the time. I do. Other people just get to deal with me whenever anything is just like getting bad or whatever, right? And then they just get to tell me what they feel like those answers are or whatever. You know what I mean? I hear that things are not the best. Oh yeah, they're horrible. And so that also though, like that kind of complex in my brain is also what's got me fucked up about it and really not wanting to get any help about it. Because then at this point, and we're gonna shift even a little darker here, because at this point I have decided that if I can't help myself and I'm not like, you know, consciously am able to say out loud, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to go get another job. I have a terrible time trying to go and make phone calls and get the medical things that I need or whatever. Everything is so bad to where I just don't want to do any of those things. What is best for society is if I just remove myself from it. So like, if then nobody has to pay for me, nobody has to worry about me taking up their space, nobody's got to worry about me like using up any resources that are better for, you know, anybody else who is actually going to get up and do the things that they need. Now, fundamentally, I know that that is incorrect. But along with the other mental issues that I have or whatever, that makes it seem super correct. Like it seems so correct on paper that I can say it out loud in such a fashion because it seems like a calculated. It was like, oh, I've gone over all the things, I've crunched the numbers, and this is the actual solution. When the fact of the matter is that like if anybody else were to tell me all of these things, I would tell them all the things that everybody else tells me. You know, where it's like, well, that's not actually how it works. Like that's not actually how that really should go down in the end. Whatever answer that you got at the end of this equation, it needs to be peer reviewed because we think that it may be incorrect, and we would like to tell you why. But it still just makes things very difficult, especially since I've been doing it for so long. I'm about to be 46, and while some things have changed, nothing has changed at the same time. I spent a handful of time being homeless, right? And everybody had to do everything for me. Promise Mascot Agency? No, I have not. Everybody had to do so much for me. Everybody fed me so much. Everybody housed me. Sometimes I wasn't housed. I ate the garbage and all that other shit. Promise Mascot Agency. Is it an anime? It looks pretty wild. Oh wait, no, it's a game? Recruit mascots as your friends. Oh my god, is it like Pokemon but with mascots? Because I'm in. I'll leave that on the side. I haven't seen it or whatever, but it does definitely look whack. That does look pretty cool. Thanks for showing me that, Azuka. That's wild. I'm in. Wouldn't it be funny if you could just do that? There are a lot of mascots in existence in Japan. If you could walk around and just hit them with Pokeballs, that'd be great. But yeah, there's a whole lot more that I could really be sharing about a lot of things and stuff. But I think I got the majority of them the majority of them out of the way. So to kind of summarize, I suppose, my life is in shambles. I feel like it's mostly my fault. My birthday is the end of next month. I'm going to be having a non-stop stream from the 1st to the 31st to count down to my birthday, which is on the 31st. And it might not be a very positive experience because my life's falling apart and my health is crap. So it might be a spectacle, though, that's for sure. All right, now that we've gotten through that section of whatever I was doing today, I think it might be time to play a game. But first, I'm going to breathe in some delicious toxic fumes, and then I will be right back after that. Not sure exactly what I want to play. I think I want to play Lunar. Oh, that's a whole other story that I forgot to do. That's something that just like severely contributed to like my depression this week in general. I just wanted to get a copy of Lunar off of a hard drive that I have. I have a bunch of physical copies of Lunar. This is the Japanese version that came out on PlayStation 1. The one I want to play though is the Sega CD version, which I also own. I decided to download it, but that version is a pile of shit. And I was like, I have it on this spare hard drive that has the rest of my stuff, which I want to get anyway because it's got all my music on it, and I would like to start DJing again. So I found that hard drive. I finally was able to get access to the data on that hard drive. I pulled off Lunar 1 and 2 for the Sega CD, and then I was telling Prods about everything I went through trying to get that hard drive even to work in the first place. And while I was doing that, I turned my chair, and my chair snagged a wire and dropped the hard drive, and now I can't access any of the data on the hard drive. Its reading is raw, which means that there is a chance that I could get access to that data, but it's going to be a fight. And there also is a chance that all of that data is completely gone. So any last remnant that I had of my entire music collection especially, and tons of awesome stuff and data that I've had through the years, tons of pictures and videos, and saved games and all sorts of crazy shit like that, may be up in smoke. That's another reason why we're smoking. Up in smoke. So, in order to, it's one of those things where I went through all this trouble in order to get that game off of the hard drive so that I can play it. So I feel like we need to play it today to at least get some use out of whatever the fuck I was trying to do with myself at that point. What a mess, right, guys? Randomly got a memory of watching you play Legend of Dragoon years ago for the PS1. Yes, and that was my first time playing it. What a great game. It was so rusty though. Like, it's very dated. There are some games that are dated and it's kind of fine and that's like whatever. But then there are some games that are dated and it hurts, right? I feel like Legend of Dragoon is one of a game that needs a remaster, a remake, way more than pretty much every game in existence. The story was so cool. It's such a great game in so many ways, but it's just kind of stuck in a rusty shell. I really wish that game would get remade. That game deserves a remaster more than anything else. What an awesome game. But yeah, I'm gonna be right back for a little bit, and when we come back, maybe we will play Lunar in the Sega CD. We'll see how I feel after I have this here cigarette. BRB.
seen another planet from space. It's beautiful.
All right, we're back. Oh God, my hair looks terrible. Whatever. I got the sandwich. We're gonna eat a sandwich before we go. Maybe we could do a little bit of both, huh? Let me prepare my sandwich and then we'll get over to the game. While I'm eating this sandwich, we can get to doing what I said I was going to do to you guys before. In regards to Fa Xanadu. My bum is ready. Ooh, the dumpy. Now I'm gonna show you. Where it's at. We'll find it. So this is the YouTube channel of Basement Brothers. A couple guys that they do a lot of reviews on a lot of older games or whatever, and they're pretty much single-handedly responsible for me playing a lot of Falcom games recently. Recently did a Tenchi Muyo vid. But they got one on Xanadu. So we're gonna watch this video together. So I can educate you as they did. On Xanadu. Pause music! Please enjoy watching this with me.
You boys be quiet down there!
Welcome back to PC88 Paradise.
Oh god, that song.
A series where we take a close look at classic games for the NEC PC88, the most popular Japanese PC series of the 1980s. In the 80s Japanese PC gaming scene, there were a number of titles that I would call important or influential. Games that if you owned a PC in Japan at the time, you probably played or at the very least were familiar with. But there's one title from 1985 that dwarfs them all. This was the game that transformed Nihon Falcom from a small computer shop with employees who made games in their spare time to the powerhouse of the Japanese PC gaming industry. This was the must-have PC game in Japan in the mid-80s. This was the killer app. And though there is some disagreement, according to some accounts, even today it remains the best-selling Japanese PC game of all time. So this time on PC88 Paradise, we're finally doing...
So one thing that's important.
Xanadu was the brainchild of Yoshio Kiya,
There's
a
a
game
PC he has,
producer
it's
at
great.
Falcom who, as I've mentioned in previous videos, had a weird habit of making every game he produced a part of his Dragon Slayer series. And so it was that Xanadu, a standalone game of its own which itself spawned sequels and spin-offs, was also given the small text title Dragon Slayer 2. But to be fair, though most of the Dragon Slayer games have little or nothing to do with each other, at the time Xanadu probably felt like the logical evolution of the original Dragon Slayer, released the previous year.
So this is Dragon Slayer. I streamed it at some point last year. It's a very hard game, but I did beat it. And like he said, there are a lot of series that people play nowadays that all stem from this and this guy. I had named yes, indeed.
And can we marvel for just a second at how big a step up Xanadu is from the original Dragon Slayer? These games were released barely even over a year apart from each other. Technology moved so fast back then.
Wow, Xanadu.
Before getting to the PC88 version of Xanadu though, we're first going to have to go to another 80s Japanese PC series, since Xanadu is the first game I've covered on PC88 Paradise.
So this specific PC8801 is like one of the craziest ones. It's even got a slot at the top so you could put in a TurboGrafx CD and then just play it off of this machine. It's amazing.
Where the PC88 version isn't the original. Xanadu was programmed on and originally released for the Sharp X1, one of the PC88's closest competitors. This version looks graphically almost identical to the PC88 version, but the music uses the X1's PSG sound, which would sound great if it weren't for the fact that the music cuts out completely during all sound effects. Another unique thing about the X1 version is that it was the only version also released on cassette tape, in addition to the standard floppy disk version. Kia and his team did their best to deliver the exact same game, even for the many X1 users who didn't have floppy drives. But unfortunately, there was one major limitation. According to Japanese Wikipedia, the tape version took about 40 minutes when saving or loading your game. At first I thought, that doesn't make sense. There's no way it could take that long just to save some character stats and the character's current position in the stage. But this will actually make sense later when I explain how Xanadu works. But I'm mainly concerned with the PC-88 version of Xanadu, released soon after. Though it may seem arbitrary that I'm focusing on the PC-88 version just because this is PC-88 Paradise, I think it's arguable that the PC-88 version was the most culturally important release. More people played it than the X1 version, and in fact, some of the later releases of the game for Windows are actually emulated versions of the PC-88 game. And in case this all wasn't confusing enough already, we need to also be specific about which PC-88 version we're talking about, since Xanadu was released on the PC-88 no less than 4 times. The first version is the only one that runs on the 2 oldest PC-88 models, and requires the system to be set to the old V1 graphics mode, or else it'll look like this. The music in this one is also limited to beep sound. But immediately a superior V2 version was also released. In addition to using the newer V2 graphics mode, this one also supports FM sound. Additionally, this V2 version got 2 updates. This one apparently just has a few bug fixes and minor changes, and the final PC-88 version has new character graphics for the shops. This change was made after it came to light that most of the original graphics were copied from the manual of Ultima 3 Exodus. Yeah, international copyrights were not enforced very strictly in the fledgling Japanese PC gaming industry, and it's a shame that they chose to cut corners this way when creating the original version of the game. Anyway, today we're going to be playing this version, which is the last release that has the plagiarized Ultima 3 graphics. The version with the new graphics is a bit less common, and thus the plagiarized graphics are what most Xanadu players became accustomed to. And the other reason I'm not playing this one is because it doesn't work. Yeah, when you collect old PC games, non-working floppies are a constant issue you just have to deal with. So, let's open this one. Oh, come on, there's no manual? Ah, fine. The manual is quite a thick tome since it's a complicated game. The story here is quite simple though. Your mission is to defeat the fire-breathing King Dragon, which appears once every few thousand years and can only be slain with the Dragon Slayer, the best sword in the game in almost every entry in the Dragon Slayer series. But the only clues to the sword's whereabouts are hidden within the sacred crowns of the Fairy Kings. These are what you'll need to seek out first in your adventure. This long monster manual was made entirely by Tsuneyuki Miyamoto, the guy who I talk so much about in my Azteca video. In the back, there's a section titled Advice for Beginners, hints for those who just can't seem to progress from the beginning. This section needs to be cut open with a scissors if you want to see what's inside, and mine is still sealed. Let's take a look inside via the magic of the internet. There's some advice regarding how to create a character and a map of the first level. The advice here is decent, but it's pretty vaguely worded. Players are going to need a lot more help than this. Anyway, let's go back to my working copy of the game and take out the 2 floppy disks. We'll make sure the PC-88's clock speed is set to 4 MHz, since this is an old game and in 8 MHz mode it will run too fast. First, we're actually going to boot disk B of the game in order to create a user disk. This Xanacopy screen can also be used to confirm which release of the game you have. We'll insert a disk we can format over in Drive 2, and Xanacopy will copy the contents of game disk B onto the new disk. Disk B is actually just a fresh user disk with write protection enabled. By the way, Xanacopy can also be used at any point to make a backup of your user disk in its current state. After the copy process, we're instructed to replace disk B with disk A in Drive 1 and press reset. I've always found this title screen kind of funny. It's like, look at all the characters you can be in this role-playing game. In reality, though you can become a strong magic user, your character is always going to look mostly like the fighter in the middle. After the characters finish appearing, the game will begin automatically. We start here in this unique town area of the game. You can't talk to these people or dogs or anything, they're just here to get in the way. We first visit the king's castle to give our character a name. There are a number of Easter egg names you can enter here for various effects, but we'll just enter a regular name and the king will give us our initial set of equipment. The other buildings in the town allow you to spend your gold to increase any character stats you choose. This is how you create a character. You will also notice that all the text in Xanadu is in simple English, not Japanese. This was easy enough for Japanese players to understand and added to the unique mood of the game. Plus, it meant the game didn't require a kanji ROM for Japanese text. There are some high walls on the edges of town, and I'm very curious to see what they're hiding, but there's no way to get up there, and our only choice is to literally go fall down a hole, ensuring that we'll never be returning to town again. This is such an odd way to begin the game. There are a number of passageways and ladders on the way down, but they almost all lead nowhere. I guess they were trying to make the player feel like they're entering a vast labyrinth. But this just goes so much against modern gaming sensibilities. What the hell is going on? Where do I go? Is this the way to the game? But if you keep falling down and searching around, you'll eventually find the only way forward, the first cave, which serves as the entrance to level 1. After passing through, again there's no way back, and you're finally in the game. Xanadu is sort of a side-view dungeon crawler with battle encounters that take place from an overhead perspective. The battles use a bump attack type system, a bit more advanced than the one found in Dragon Slayer 1, but not as advanced as the one in Ys. Enemies leave behind treasure chests, and for some reason I love the feeling of walking into a chest in order to open it. You also have unlimited magic, and you begin with a simple projectile spell called Needle. Its trajectory can even be controlled after release by holding down the magic button. There's also a button you can hold down to make your character strafe, but when using the gamepad, it's the same button that's used for items, and it's very easy to accidentally use up an item when you're trying to strafe. Luckily, I found that strafing, while useful, isn't essential to playing the game well. Advanced functions require you to use the keyboard. Escape pauses, S shows your status, E opens the equipment menu, and I shows your items.
By the way, this game is available to buy on the Nintendo Switch. If you go into the Switch store and you type, you search for Egg Console, alright, it'll bring up a shitload of games on the MSX, the PC 8898, things like that. That's how I played Ys 1 and 2 originally and stuff, and this game. I did stream this game.
It's pretty hard to see how many of each item you have remaining. Each item has a letter assigned to it, which you can only see in the equipment menu. And on the items...
What's up, Radfun? Thank you so much for that Submarino. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. How you doing, BB?
useful isn't essential to playing the game well. Advanced functions require you to use the keyboard. Escape pauses, S shows your status, E
I'm
opens
terrible.
the equipment menu, and I shows your items. It's pretty hard to see how many of each item you have remaining. Each item has a letter assigned to it, which you can only see in the equipment menu.
On
And on
Xanadu.
the item screen, the remaining numbers of each item are arranged in the same letter order, like so. I found myself reciting the alphabet to myself in order to read this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This menu is hard to read. In the main side view stage maps, there are also shops to enter, as well as overhead view dungeons, which the game calls towers. These are not unlike the dungeons in the original Zelda, though they lack puzzle elements. These are the best places to find valuable loot. Each of the game's 10 levels has about 1 to 3 of these towers, with one of them containing a boss. The bosses are fought on this side view Egyptian themed screen, where your character can basically fly. There's little strategy to the bosses. You basically run into them and hope your stats are high enough to win. Surprisingly, the bosses don't need to be defeated in order to progress to the next level, but if you can manage to beat them, they give a ton of experience and valuable loot. Some of them also guard one of the 4 crowns, which are required to obtain the Dragon Slayer.
This game is
To
Xanadu.
improve your character,
I'm just showing, like, I'm doing like a retro thing or whatever. So a lot of people know on the Nintendo, like here in the States especially, about an old game that everybody called Faxanadu, but it's actually pronounced Fa-Xanadu, and I'm torturing people with that fact. Oh, you see, there he goes. There you go. No, it's Fa-Xanadu. This is the original game on the PC 88 that existed or whatever. It's so rough, and he'll get into why it's rough. If you're really interested into why it's rough, stay tuned, because it's so rough. I did beat this and the Scenario 2 version of it, but the game has finite monsters, so you can only get so much experience and gold, and if you mismanage any of that, then you just have to fucking start from the beginning, and it is not a short game. It, like, he talks about how he had to go like hand in hand with somebody else's playthrough and just kind of do what they did. And I also had to do that. That's the only way I was able to beat this game, was by like, which is funny because I could have just watched somebody else beat it and been like, so that's how it was, cool. But no, I just did the same thing he did, just to be able to say that I beat Xanadu, even though it was ridiculous. But yeah, it's pretty hardcore. It's like, it was made to a sense to where, and I think he'll mention it later too, where it was just kind of expected that not everybody will beat this game. Ultima kind of was the same way in that, whatever. Ultima was like so janky and so interesting in some ways to where they were like, not everybody's gonna beat this game. But Lord British himself actually put in his actual phone number for his house in there, to where so like when you beat the game, it like gave you his phone number, and they're like, if you beat the game, tell us. And then they would send you like a certificate congratulating you on beating the game, because it was just that hard or whatever. This is kind of in the same vein.
you have both attack experience and magic experience. In addition to that, every piece of equipment in the game also has its own experience, which gets raised every time you attack, get hit, or use magic. So as with everything in this game, there are a ton of things to consider. Visit the temple after you've gained enough attack or magic experience, and you'll be upgraded to the next fighter or magic level. Once you've reached a high enough level, the cave entrance to the next level is open to you. Okay, they're also called levels, but let's call them stages from now on to avoid confusion. Once you figure this much out, you can actually have a pretty good time casually defeating enemies and trying to reach the next stage. You might even manage to get to the second one, but I'm afraid I have some bad news to break to you. You see, you're not going to obtain the Dragon Slayer, or defeat the King Dragon. In fact, you've probably already done several things which have made it now impossible to finish the game. Xanadu was not designed to be easy, and most players were never intended to finish it. It's a game of finite resources and tools which need to be utilized in very clever ways in order to progress. Even when not moving, your character is constantly eating food, which you'll need to either obtain from enemies or purchase from the food shop with your precious gold. When you've got no food left, your HP will start draining, and the BGM will play out of tune.
That happened to me for a while.
Though since the BGM sounds pretty dissonant to begin with, it's sometimes actually kind of hard for me to notice. If you play the game, you'll also notice that enemies in the stages stop spawning after being defeated about 3 times or so, which means that if you need more gold or experience, you can't just keep grinding. You've only got whatever's left. Once the enemies are gone, there's no more gold or experience to be gained. The game is constantly updating your user disk, with every enemy.
No way. Is that real, Jibbed? Are you kidding? How dare they do that to me? No way, come on. I love how this place is named Girlcock. Oh, that's just a person. What the fuck? That's quite noisy, I apologize. How dare they? No! I'm angry about this. And I'm gonna do it.
That has been defeated, and every item collected in every tower in the game. This is the reason why the cassette tape version for the X1 took 40 minutes to save or load. Incidentally,
So let's go
this
over
means
that
their
part
gold
again
or
real quick. He'll say it. I'll just let him say it.
You can't just keep grinding. You've only got whatever's left. Once the enemies are gone, there's no more gold or experience to be gained. The game is constantly updating your user disk with every enemy that has been defeated and every item collected in every tower in the game. This is the reason why the cassette tape version for the X1 took 40 minutes to save or load.
So yeah, back in the day, games could actually come on audio cassette tape and be loaded on there. And he's not kidding, every single piece of data is always recorded on those things. So in order to record the save or whatever, it would have to play 40 minutes of the tape in order to either save or load. What a time we live in.
Load. Incidentally, this means there's actually an easy way to
Clay
cheat
remembers.
in Xanadu. Before entering a cave to another stage, insert a fresh user disk. Then all enemies and items will be back, with all your stats and inventory still intact. I made sure not to use this to my advantage as soon as I realized it was a thing. But the real kicker for me when I first tried playing Xanadu casually was that it costs gold to save and load your game.
Oh yeah.
This is counter to our way of thinking in this
Forgot about
modern age of save states. But according to the manual, saving your game is a privilege granted by the gods, and you're not intended to be constantly saving and then loading after a battle that didn't go your way. Mistakes are supposed to be permanent, and saving is only for when you need to turn off your PC-88.
I used save states.
Pressing Ctrl Q to save and Ctrl R to restore is quite forward thinking for a 1985 game, and it's very tempting to use these commands, but doing so even once will use a significant amount of precious gold that you're gonna need to buy other things. The only way to save for free is the autosave that occurs whenever you travel to another stage, or before you fight a boss. Then, again, it's tempting to quickly use Ctrl R when you need to load, but even this uses gold, and doing so over and over again will literally deplete your gold in no time due to the subsequent autosave that will immediately happen afterward. The only way to load for free is by resetting the system, which is inconvenient since you'll need to watch the slow opening animation every time. To be honest, Xanadu is a game that I've been dreading making a video about for as long as I've been making PC-88 Paradise. I have a relatively long history with this game going back decades. Every time I've tried it, I ended up quitting pretty quickly in frustration. As a diehard Falcom fan, this game and Sorcerian have always felt like gaping holes in my personal experience with Falcom's long history. Sure, I've tried these games and have a pretty good idea what they're about, but I've always felt like I should really learn to play them for real someday, or hand in my Falcom fanboy card like the imposter I am. And this may be my modern gamer sensibilities talking, but I can't help but feel that games are meant to be finished. Every game I've started and not finished feels like a bit of unfinished business. Despite knowing how famously difficult Xanadu is, I'll always feel like I'm missing something if I never find that Dragon Slayer and defeat that damn King Dragon. So a few months ago, I set off on a long and often frustrating journey to finally make things right. At first I tried this well-known walkthrough that's been available online for decades. It helped a little, but proved still not enough for me. Then I found this full playthrough on YouTube. I highly recommend Daisuke Kunimitsu's channel if you need help getting through any of these old Japanese PC games.
That's what I used.
He is amazingly good at Xanadu and video games in general. For most of my playthrough, I ended up literally watching his videos on a second screen while I played.
Mimicking his movements from my cage and learning the mysterious art of ninjutsu.
I'll fully admit this was basically like cheating on a test by copying someone else's work, but realistically, knowing my history with the title, this was probably the only way I was ever going to finish it. Even with all this help, I still managed to screw up constantly, getting killed by enemies I should have been able to take down. I oftentimes needed to backtrack to correct mistakes made hours earlier. Good thing I bothered to back up my user disk at several key points in the adventure, so that I wouldn't have to start again from the very beginning every time.
So what's funny is at some point I accidentally saved over one of my save states, and this happens every once in a while. And I did end up having to restart this game after, luckily, not too many hours of playthrough, but definitely several hours of playthrough.
So here are some examples of the crazy things you need to do in order to beat Xanadu. There's no way I can possibly mention everything, so if you're familiar with this game and I fail to mention your favorite aspect, be sure to let me know about it in the comments. And as in all my videos, the following information isn't really intended so that you can beat the game for yourself, but rather to give a better idea of what the game is like. First of all, when creating a character, the one thing you absolutely should do is raise your charisma stat to the highest possible amount. Charisma determines how much things will cost at the shops, and thus is generally agreed to be the most important stat, since Xanadu is a game of resource management. For the same reason, before making any major purchase in the game, you're also going to want to use an item called a bottle, which temporarily raises your charisma even further. Another thing you're going to want to do is find the item shop hidden down the hole at the beginning of the game. 5 steps to the left here, and the shop appears to the right. Now, there are equipment shops throughout the game, but this is the only shop where you can buy and sell items. Sell all those cheap spectacles you got from the king, and buy some rare items.
So the spectacles, when you use them, you have to like use it almost as a spell. And then when the light hits the enemy, it tells you what the enemy drops when you kill it. So it can be understandable how that could be useful, but in general, it just kind of ends up being useless. And the stuff that he's getting here, because this sells like every single item in the game. So like you could definitely prepare a little better if you learn to and do this. This area that you fall into is the very beginning of the game, and it's like a weird maze that has a lot of warping around and stuff. And that's why when you just go one slot further,
here, and the shop appears to the right.
It just warps out. But you can just keep going to the left and leave.
The game, but this is the only shop where you can buy and sell items.
But yeah, also
sell
you can't sell
spectacles you
most items in any other shops.
Buy some rare items. Items like the Demon's Ring and Hourglass will make the towers much easier by granting invisibility or stopping time, respectively. These items last for a limited amount of time, but it doesn't run down as long as you're in battle. Since almost every screen in the towers has enemies on it, you can make these items last indefinitely by always leaving one enemy alive on each screen, thus never exiting battle. Then you can go back and take out the last enemy on each screen later in order to obtain their precious items. Another thing that makes battles much easier are the Deg spells, like Deg Needle. These deal a little damage to every enemy on screen each time they're used, and the enemies can hardly move at all if you just hold down the button to keep using magic.
This is 90% of the game too.
Always be taken out without taking any damage by using these Deg spells, but relying too much on magic means that you'll only get magic experience. You want to make sure you also get attack experience, since most of the bosses are invulnerable to magic. So using Deg magic to weaken the enemies down to the final hit, and then finishing them off with regular attacks is often the best strategy, especially since finishing the last enemy using magic means they won't drop any items. In Stage 3, you'll meet the first Karma enemy of the game.
Oh, this is bullshit.
You want to avoid killing these urinals, or else you'll accumulate Karma. Urinals? More like urinals, am I right? Sorry. The other way you can accumulate Karma is by saving or loading your game when you don't have enough money. If you have any Karma at all, you won't be able to level up at the temples, even if you have enough experience points. Hey, this must have been the inspiration for the Karma system in Zack 2 that I complained about so much. The only way to lower your Karma is by collecting poison. Poison takes away half your current HP every time you collect it, so normally you're going to want to avoid these. If you do need to collect them to lower your Karma, better try to make it when your HP is already low. You can also shoot the poison with magic, as you can with all items, to get it out of your way.
You just shot the potion.
Other items you'll want to avoid for most of the game are these gloves and rods.
So like in Xanadu, they have the glove, right? And you get it and then you're stronger for a little bit and then it goes away. This is where that part comes from. Except, but he'll explain it in just a moment. They're permanent experience upgrades for certain things, But you don't want that because it only affects whatever you have currently equipped. And since you need to get the Dragon Slayer at the end, the Dragon Slayer will come with no weapon experience on it, so you'll need to level it up. So yeah, he's gonna tell you what they do for that, which is you want to ignore 90% of these things and then come get them all at the end of the game, which was quite a pain in the ass.
These give a big increase to the experience level of your currently equipped weapon or magic respectively. So if you want to beat the game, you're going to want to leave most of these and come back and collect them near the end once you have the death magic and the Dragon Slayer. Another secret to the game is not leveling up. You heard me right, not leveling up. Leveling up causes inflation. Everything costs more the higher your level is. So you're going to want to hold off on going to the temple to level up until you absolutely need to. You'll also want to make any major purchases before going to the temple to level up. And since this game has a ridiculous number of locked doors, most experts recommend using all your remaining money to stock up on keys at the guilds before leveling up. Another reason not to level up is that high-level characters eat a lot of food, and the amount you'll have to spend to feed your character can get pretty high. Gee, I wish it was...
For this first Xanadu game? Or is this regular Xanadu? Oh, there's Xanadu next. Oh, that was the one that Prods was talking about a little bit. Oh my god. Wait, maybe it's not that one. I have anxiety thinking about this. I forgot what Xanadu next is. Oh yeah, absolutely nothing here. 0 active players. There's only 2 active players in Fa Xanadu. But there's plenty of people who have done it. Maybe we'll watch one of those speedruns.
It's possible to buy more than 99 food at a time. Not leveling up, though, is one of the things that made the game extra hard for me at a lot of points. It's possible to progress to stages too high for your current level by using a pendant to temporarily open the closed doors to the next stage. I tried to imitate the way this expert delayed leveling up in his videos, but you have to be very, very careful when fighting enemies much stronger than you are. I died a lot, and had to choose whether to use a precious elixir to resurrect or reset to load my game. In hindsight, I was a bit too conservative with using my elixirs. For most of the game, you have a limited number of them, but later on, some enemies start dropping them. You can't use elixirs on the bosses anyway, so you might as well use them. And on the topic of healing items, you're going to want to use the red potions enemies occasionally drop as your main method for healing. The other way to heal is by visiting the healers or the inns, but these start costing quite a lot to use, even very early in the game. Mastering the art of moving your character about the side view stages is also important. This may look strange, but you can actually move your character diagonally through floors like these. You'll also want to be careful with these T-shaped blocks, which you can move downward through, but not upward.
I got my character stuck like that.
Even in the first stage where these can get you permanently stuck.
Yep, that's where I got stuck.
If there are remaining enemies nearby, you can use them to get unstuck by getting into battle with them, and making sure to exit upward from the battle screen. The direction you exit the battle screen determines the position where you'll be standing afterward. If you end up here when there are no enemies remaining, however, you're permanently stuck.
That happened to me.
You'll need to reset, which in the first stage probably means starting over from the beginning of the game. You can also use a mattock to destroy some blocks and open up otherwise inaccessible areas. Check out these crazy moves here. Jumps like these look like they shouldn't be possible.
Oh yeah,
They
there's a
are
weird
with
double
the right
jump too.
technique. Some Xanadu experts call these double jumps, but they aren't the awesome kind of double jumps you'll find in games like Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
You know these jumps that are like double jumps, you know?
You'll have to master keyboard techniques in order to make these. I can do this one with the gamepad, but others like this one I found easier with the keyboard. Jumps like this one may look simple, but you'll actually have to press 6-9 on the
I didn't have an
number pad
option
with
for a
the
keyboard
exact
because I
right
played it on
timing
Switch.
in order to hit this enemy. I actually found it easier with 9-6 instead. At first, I just couldn't get the timing right and got really discouraged, but I got it eventually. Sometimes I used these 9-7 double jumps down here for practice, since the timing is the same. When you get to stage 7, the experts recommend warping up to stage 9 in order to grab the Murasame Blade, one of the best weapons in the game. The items called the Black Onyx and Fire Crystal allow you to warp up or down a stage, respectively. Each spot on the map has a corresponding spot on the other stage maps that you'll end up in when you warp. So if you're not careful, you might end up stuck in a wall. Not a huge issue though, since it always autosaves when you use these, so you can just reset the system to go back right before you warped. Or just continue warping to other stages if you've looked at a map and are sure you know what you're doing. Cause it's gonna autosave again next time with you still in the wall. Oh, and check out some of this game's crazy stage maps. Stage 10 has the initials for Dragon Slayer 2 in it, and Stage 8 is shaped like a map of the world. The stages repeat endlessly to the left and right, by the way, in case that wasn't clear. So, did I ever manage to slay the King Dragon? Well, in Stage 9, up to Stage 9,
there's one thing that I
each
want
spot on you
to
warping
point
to
at
other
here.
stage again next time with
Let
you
him show
still
this
in the
map
wall.
here for a second.
Oh, and check out.
Because, like, if you look at a map like this, right? Sure, it's annoying. And it's huge. The majority of it just seems like all nothing but these squares. And on the left up here, these are like the tower type areas that you need to get into eventually. So you're like, all right, well, that's not so hard. I'll just walk all the way to the right until it stops. And then I'll go up the ladders until that stops, and I'll do that, right? That's what I thought when I first saw this map and I got in there. But when I got here, it turns out that when you're walking to the right on any one of these fucking things, there are secret warps that warp you to another spot somewhere in this giant crazy fucking grid. And it sucks. It's pure hell. So you don't really know where you are. You have to kind of figure out what ways up, down, or whatever to kind of avoid. You have to like feel out how it all works.
Out some of
It was pure hell.
crazy stage maps.
I was very
Stage
disappointed
10
to
has
find
the
out
initials for Dragon Slayer 2 in it.
that that's what
and
could happen
Stage
to
8
me.
is shaped like a map of the world. The stages repeat endlessly to the left and right, by the way, in case that wasn't clear. So, did I ever manage to slay the King Dragon? Well, in Stage 9, first I had to slay a Silver Dragon. By now I had the strongest magic in the game called Death, powered up to a pretty high level, which can be used to deal him a lot of damage. Slaying him gave me the last of the 4 crowns, which would allow me, the next time I went to the temple, to view an on-screen map showing the Dragon Slayer's location. But even the author of this walkthrough says the map is pretty unintelligible. Hey, is that pixelated Japanese? I'm pretty sure it is. The Dragon Slayer can only be reached by using an item called a mantle to pass through this wall. Here I fought another silver dragon, and lo and behold, it's the Dragon Slayer. I also found the battle suits by fighting another silver dragon in the same tower. Now my character looks truly ready for battle, but actually I better level up all this equipment before fighting the King Dragon. I used the gloves I left behind in the previous towers to level the Dragon Slayer up to the maximum of 255, and also did my best to get the battle suits and +7 large shield up a bit as well. This trick using the Ustaligors to easily raise armor and shield experience didn't work for me for
Didn't
whatever
work for me
reason,
either.
so I had to resort to doing it the hard way. I wasn't able to get them as high as I wanted, but decided to try my hand at the King Dragon anyway. He's actually located in Stage 9, not 10. There's a boss rush you have to get through in order to get to him, but I found him before I was even ready. Since my equipment wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be, I had to use a bit of strategy in order to slay him. You want to attack from above, preferably while he's shooting fire. I was close but couldn't quite do it, until I managed to find a nice position that allowed me to keep hitting him in the face while he kept stupidly spitting fire at the ground.
That's what I did as well.
That's it. After all these years...
However, he killed it in like 10 seconds. I think I had to do it for nearly 20 minutes because I wasn't as powerful. So I just had to hold right on that. I was just like watching cartoons while holding right and hitting the dragon in the face.
I've slain the King Dragon. The ending has the only Japanese text in the game. Some say it's a quote from Rasputin, while others claim it's a Bible verse. I can't find evidence to confirm either. My guess is that it's actually original text written for the game, based loosely on the poem Kubla Khan by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Since the poem contains a lot of the same key words and mentions Kubla Khan's palace, Xanadu, in the very first line. If you're curious, here's what the game's ending text says. I'm no good at translating this biblical-style old Japanese, so here's a slightly cleaned up Google translation. Then the game just goes to a version of the title screen without the characters and plays a little tune until you turn off the system. It seems kind of wasteful to have new BGM here, considering that for most of the game you'll be hearing the exact same version of the Xanadu theme repeating endlessly. There are 2 other variations of the main theme used briefly, plus a very short repeating boss BGM. And of course the sped up music for battle and the little jingles for when you get in and out of them if you want to count those. That's it. Xanadu was Falcom's first game to have actual BGM playing throughout. The Xanadu theme is a classic for sure, but I'd argue this isn't yet the game that set Falcom on the road to becoming a company known for their music. It doesn't even have that distinctive Falcom FM sound yet. That would happen a little later. Xanadu was followed up with Xanadu Scenario 2 the next year, an expansion pack that required the original Xanadu discs to be played.
It was actually way better in my opinion.
Known for having the very first game soundtrack Yuzo Koshiro ever worked on.
That's good.
It's also said to be even harder than the original Xanadu. Some even say it's broken.
That's bad.
If possible, I hope to make a separate video dedicated to this one too someday.
Which he did.
A true sequel to Xanadu was at one point being planned. When I visited the temporary Falcom Museum in 2017, I shot footage of concept material for a cancelled game from the late 80s, titled simply Xanadu 2. According to the text here, the game would have taken place in the distant future after Xanadu, where humans have forgotten about electricity and returned to nature. You would play a character named Rickle and answer yes or no questions throughout the game, which would change your character's personality as well as the trajectory of the story. It's disappointing that this game never got beyond the planning stages, cause it would have been really interesting to see a true sequel to Xanadu released in the late 80s that had actual characters and a story. But let's go back to some Xanadu games that actually got released. As for the ports of the original Xanadu, we've already covered the original Sharp X1 version. There was also a version for one of the PC-88's cousins, the NEC PC-8001. Specifically one of the later models in that series, the PC-8001 Mark II SR. The 8001 was a separate, less successful line of hardware. This version of Xanadu won't run on PC-88, but according to Japanese Wikipedia, the hardware is so similar that Yoshio Kiya came into the office on a weekend and ported the game from the PC-88 version in a day. The other version to be released simultaneously with those was for the PC-98. The PC-98s available in 1985 were actually a little behind the PC-88 in sound capabilities, and no models had built-in FM sound yet. So this version was only made to support beep sound. This version also reportedly has speed and timing issues regardless of what model you play it on. A little over a month later, in early 1986, they also released a port for the Fujitsu FM7, the PC-88's other close competitor. This one has a slightly different HUD on the right side of the screen, and apparently some small changes to the game balance. Also, due to hardware limitations, the character keeps moving even after you release the keys. The double jumps, however, were made easier to perform. The MSX2 version didn't come out until over a year later. The graphics had to be simplified, and like the X1 version, the music cuts out during all the sound effects. Counterintuitively, the superior MSX version was actually for the MSX1. It was released later the same year on a cartridge with battery backup.
Oh,
the
wow.
changes are far too many to list, but overall it's a much more fun and smooth experience than the MSX2 version.
I should mess with
Maybe
that.
actually the best version of the game yet. Most importantly, it has a lot more music than the original, some of it composed by Yuzo Koshiro. It's kind of strange though that the Xanadu theme seems to be absent. That's all the classic versions of Xanadu. Now we get into some of the later remakes. In the mid-90s, Falcom decided it was time to revive Xanadu on the PC-98. As you can see, this is much easier on the eyes, and also on the ears, as it has great sounding stereo FM music. I've also owned this one for decades and never gotten very far, but now that I've finished the PC-88 version, maybe this one deserves another try someday as well. There was also Revival Xanadu 2 Remix, featuring brand new stages different from those of Xanadu Scenario 2. It also included an easy version of the first Revival Xanadu. There's a version of Xanadu on Falcom Classics for the Sega Saturn. This one is based heavily on Revival Xanadu for the PC-98, and even has the same graphics in the shops. This is probably the smoothest 98.
I also want to look at how he opens the treasure chest.
Revival Xanadu for
How
the
it's like slowly
PC-98.
opening up. That is related to a stat. There is a stat that affects how fast you can open treasure chests. So every time your character is bumping into the treasure chest, it does a roll to see if it will open a little bit more. And if that stat is low, then it will fail a lot more often, and you will open chests slowly, and it really sucks.
It even has the same graphics in the shops. This is probably the smoothest version of Xanadu ever released. In 1998, a company called Unbalance released a version of Xanadu for Windows, sometimes known as the Memorial Games Edition. This one is reportedly just a bad port of Revival Xanadu from PC-98. Even the music is recordings from the PC-98's FM soundboard. All later releases of Xanadu for Windows are emulated versions of the PC-88 or other classic PC versions. And, to be extra thorough, there was also a version of Xanadu for Japanese flip phones in 2006. Lastly, I feel like I had better also acknowledge the legacy of the Xanadu name. Fax Xanadu was originally intended to be some sort of alternate take on Xanadu by Hudson Soft, but became a completely different game at some point in the process. The name, though, was kept, and is literally short for Famicom Xanadu.
We'll never have any peace until we drive them off Fax Xanadu once and for all.
Falcom themselves made a game called The Legend of Xanadu for the PC Engine in 1994. This one at least features the original Xanadu theme in the opening sequence, and the past events described here might be referring to the original Xanadu.
Wait, which one did you say again?
Falcom themselves made a game called The Legend of Xanadu for the PC Engine in 1994. This one at least features the original Xanadu theme in the opening sequence, and the past events described here might be referring to the original Xanadu. Otherwise, this game and its sequel are really nothing like the original Xanadu. The second one is one of my personal favorite Falcom games, though. Next, there's 2005's Xanadu Next. This one tries the most to carry on the legacy of the original game, and makes heavy use of the theme music. The story is also supposedly a direct sequel to the original. This is a decent enough game that I enjoyed playing when it first came out on Windows. And for some reason I'll never know, there was also a version released for the N-Gage, a short-lived handheld system released by Nokia in 2004.
So look, it may say handheld system, but this is actually a cell phone that is also together as a handheld system. One of the things that was the shittiest about it, though, is like over on the edge, like you see how like you have the edge of the thing right down here? On the other side of the edge is where the earpiece was and the microphone. So that means that you would be talking on the phone with it sticking out like this. But for those, if you want to, you know, like you would have to. That's how it was. It was ridiculous. You were so jelly. It was an absolute pile of shit. It was a terrible, terrible thing. Mobile mission. No, what the fuck is this? Oh, this is a Gmode thing. No way. I've never heard of this. So Gmode, I'm putting that in a wish list. Gmode archives, they're the ones that are archiving the majority of like cell phone games that existed inside of Japan, like preservation wise. Oh shit. Oh shit. They have a version of Shin Megami Tensei and Persona that were originally on cell phones that they put on Steam as well, but it's only on Japanese Steam. This is just like playing a permanent top-down level of fucking, you know that level in Contra that was like top-down? Back for bike ride. Welcome back. This is so awesome. I put that in the wish list. We'll mess with that at some other point. But let's get back to this.
Released by Nokia in 2004. And finally, there was Tokyo Xanadu for the PS Vita and PS4. This game has absolutely nothing to do with the original Xanadu, though the title screen does make an appearance. Kids, if you see the original Xanadu for sale in an electronics store, I wouldn't recommend you buy it. I don't think you'll like it. The original Xanadu might be one of the hardest and most frustrating games I've ever finished, and I was only able to do it by utilizing decades of knowledge likely accumulated by scores of Xanadu players far more clever than I.
Yep, same.
But now that it's over, I'm pretty glad I did it. As a Falcom fan and player of old Japanese PC games, this was a rite of passage that I felt I needed to conquer in order to properly understand the gaming scene that I claim to explore in these videos. Though many of the RPG elements in Xanadu probably originated from Western PC or pen and paper RPGs, it's likely thanks to Xanadu that many of these elements were copied by other games in Japan, especially on the PC. Though I must also point out that Xanadu has plenty of not-so-great ideas that thankfully didn't go on to become mainstays of JRPGs or action RPGs in general. If nothing else, Xanadu is easily one of the most talked-about Japanese PC games of all time. It seems strange now to think that so many people actually bought and played such a brutally difficult game. I'm sure most of them never finished it, or even got very far for that matter. But I can also see why a certain breed of gamers became obsessed with conquering it. Taking even experts like this guy nearly 17 hours to complete, the amount of depth here is pretty ridiculous for 1985.
And when he was saying it took that guy nearly 17 hours to beat, what he's referring to is a guy on the internet who seems to play the shit out of this game. He knows this game front and back. He knows how to play this game on his own. Like, you know, some people just get obsessed with a thing or whatever. That's that person's obsession. That guy knows his shit. He knows how to play this game extremely good, and he can do it in 17 hours. It took me like 3 weeks.
Truly a game that takes only a moment to learn, but a lifetime to master. Well, maybe not a lifetime, but the better part of a decade at least. I can only imagine how many PC-88 machines spent the better part of their useful time in the 80s running Xanadu.
Hooray!
Thanks for watching this episode of PC-88 Paradise. Time for me to go play Ease 10. But before going, I want to give my thanks to these Patreon and YouTube members for their extremely generous support.
Thank you so much. So look, I'm gonna leave this link in here for anybody else that may be interested in watching any of his videos. I'm a big fan of this person's videos. Like I said, they're the ones that got me. They're like the only person, the one or two people that I've subscribed to. I actually probably have to turn that off. Oh wait, is that subscribe with money? I don't even remember. Yeah, it is. I need to unsubscribe from that because I'm poor now. But he has a lot of really cool stuff historically, especially like PC 98, 88, 98 things, a lot of which originated on this system that we love today. Like High Glide is something that's a famous thing. Dead of the Brain is something I really want to play, but it might be really tough or whatever. This was a lost game for like a billion years. They just like somebody finally like preserved it, so now that's available or whatever. You know, is threatening me if I do not get into voice chat with them. My shins are not safe. Who needs them? Who needs shins anyway? We got the Princess Tomato game. I want to play that game live on stream. What other stuff I want to hear? Oh, the original Lagoon. Some of you may remember playing a game on Super Nintendo called Lagoon. That originated on the X68000 or whatever. Some things in it. There's so much stuff. Azteca. Now, Azteca is very important because that also turned into a thing or whatever. That came out before Ys, and there's like an Easter egg to the second one on there, whatever. There's so much cool shit in here. I suggest you guys check out a lot of their stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. I, however, am a little tired, so I am gonna go ahead and stop. I have a thing to do tonight. That's the wrong goddamn thing. I have a thing that I'm gonna do tonight. I have a game to like be a part of or something. So yeah, whatever. You want to know what? Oh wow, and it's her 4-year partnerversary as well. We're gonna go and we're gonna raid Auroral Visage. They're super cool. It looks like it's their partnerversary, so please support them. They're super cool. They play a lot of retro games and stuff like that. Stream games to do the month stream. Wait, you're gonna stream your games when you do the month stream? Well, yeah, probably. Well, I don't know about the Pazanadu. I already did that one. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been a slice. Oh, I practically done forgot where I was. The D&D. I think that she's still gonna be playing. Hold on, let me check. I think she's still gonna be playing Megami Tensei 2, which has an amazing soundtrack. We heard it at the beginning of this stream, kind of give or take. Please enjoy their stream and love them or whatever. Thank you so much. I love you. Bye.